Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to this live stream Tata Steel Chess 2022 round 11. What a big day we have today. India's Vidit Gujrathi takes on the world champion Magnus Carlsen. And it is also my birthday, so I'm very, very excited to be commentating and being with all of you. So, a warm welcome to everyone in the chat. I hope that you are doing well and everything's good. Let me just make sure that you guys can hear me well and everything is fine. Yeah, thank you all for your wishes. Soham, Jaswant, Sahil, Disha. We'll have some guests joining us today, hopefully, as the stream goes on, because it's a big day, it's a great round. So, for that, and also, it'll be nice to have them in any case. So, guys, without any further delay, let's get to the game that we all have been looking forward to. Disha, Medha Srivastav, Abhishek, Akarsh, Bodas, Kitchen, Sagar Kesare. Thank you all for your wishes. Birthday boy. Yeah, no longer feel like a boy, 32 years of age. But then Amruta was telling me, like, oh, Sagar, you've become 32 now, old. And I told her, you're 35. So she then didn't troll me any further. So thank you all for your wishes, and I'm very glad that somehow the stream and my birthday coincided, and even more glad that today is Vidit versus Carlsen, and it's Carlsen versus Vidit. Carlsen is white, so let's get it cracking. Here we have the board right now. Carlsen opened the game with 1e4, and Vidit was like, what should I play? I'm playing the world champion. Let me put my pawn on e5. Very solid chess and makes a lot of sense. Carlsen played bishop c4. Now all of you know that the main move in this position is knight f3. So why did Carlsen play bishop c4? Can anyone tell me in the chat now? Gautam Bala says, happy birthday, Sagar Bhai. Truly, you are an inspiration. Well, thank you so much, Gautam Bala. And I'm glad that you get inspired from me. And I hope that I can continue doing the work that I'm doing and improve myself. Also, the first link in the description, guys, very important link. I'll talk about it more in the coming in a bit. Yes, Neeraj Vaikos is absolutely right. He says that it is to avoid Petrov. Dhanay Doshi, very good. So the main, no, he didn't want to mate in 4. He didn't want to go for scholar's mate with queen f3 and mate here. The main aim here is that if you play knight f3, I'll play knight f6, which is the Petrov, and which is what Vidit did against Anish Giri. So whenever someone is playing Petrov and you want to play for a win against him, bishop c4 makes a lot of sense, because when now you play knight f6, white can play d3, and this is covered and the bishop is outside the pawn chain. So it's no longer trapped on f1. Knight to c6, white went knight f3, bishop c5 was played in the position, and now knight to c3. So if we look at our ChessBase 16, we will see that knight c3 is actually a very weird decision by Magnus. Thank you so much, Ravi K. Golapalli, for your super chat. Says, happy birthday, Sagar. Well, thank you so much, Ravi. Very kind of you. So you see, guys, bishop c5 that is played in this position right now. If I just open the live database, you will see that the main move is 12,000 games is c3. That leads to Italian. Castle is 9,000 moves. But knight c3 is 6,000 moves. And it is a slightly weird move, because generally when we play the Italian, you don't want to put your knight on c3, right? So Guys, I'm truly grateful to everyone who's wishing me. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. DEEC says, did you see A file party in Anish's game? No, not yet. Maybe we'll check it out. What is happening there? So here Vidit went for the move H6, which has many games. Carlsen played H3. Snehashish, thank you for your message. You have been backer of Indian chess for 2 months. Say happy birthday, Sagar. Thank you. H6, A6, and now Magnus played A4. So if you see, this has been played by Levon Aronian a lot, and Levon has played it against Anish Giri and Maxim Matlakov before. Mayur Gondalekar says happy half chessboard birthday. Yeah, Mayur has this unique ability to convert numbers into something interesting trivia. So yeah, 64 squares on the chessboard. If you cut it into half, it's 32. D6, bishop E3, take here, and you will see that Levon has played with Anish. Levon has also played it with Wesley. So bishop E6 by Vidit, B3, castles, and D5. So this is the first new move of the game. Very interesting. Let's go back to our board. So now that we know the opening well, you can really see the timings and also understand. So H6 was played here in this position. Then and Vidit took a solid amount of time for H6. He took 9 minutes for it. H3, A6, A4. So they started to think, it's like more, and Magnus played bishop E3 quickly. Vidit took, pawn takes, B3, castles, and D5. So this is right now the position on the board. And what do these double pawns give white? Can you tell me, what do these double pawns give white? Instead of A6, if Vidit had castled, is it possible to go G4 for Magnus? A very interesting question actually. Here, if A6, you mean to say instead of this, if Vidit would have gone this way? Yeah, it is definitely a possibility to do this, and a very good question, Rakshit, and I like this. And Anish has also mentioned before that both sides don't want to castle too soon. So for example, if after A6 here white castles, then even black can at some point think of playing D6 and G5, G4. Let's say D6, rook E1. Now I think G5 makes a lot of sense, because you haven't castled. You want to go G4 takes, knight takes, putting pressure on F2. So this is that. So who castles first is a mind game here. Now once this has happened, black castled, white also castled, but open F file is very good. Kunal Chaudhary, Vikram says open F file. Manav Rawal says control of D4 and F4. That also makes a lot of sense. You are right. So D5, he took, knight takes, and now Magnus played queen D2. So Vidit said, I'll take on C3, queen takes C3, and now this is hanging, right? E5, because knight E5, queen E5. So he played the move queen to D6. Magnus went knight D2. Now Magnus is coming on this square to E4. So Vidit went F5, stopping knight E4, and in came bishop takes E6, queen takes E6. This is the position on the live board as of now. And what are your thoughts, guys? What do you think about this position? Do you think that it's equal? What are the imbalances according to you here? Well, thank you all for your wishes. And now please tell me, what do you think over here is happening? Why would be any side better in this position? Manas Kochrekar says draw. Well, Manas, that's a very simplistic view of things if you say draw, just like that. I don't think it's just a draw for sure. Open D file for Vidit says Tushar Sanpal. Yes. Vidit has pressure down the open D file. Yes. Magnus loves this position, says Sriram Beragu. Absolutely. Quite calm and you can, pressurize your opponent. White knight has more space. What does that mean? White knight has more squares, you mean? Like the knight can go to c4, while the black knight does not have good squares at its disposal. True. Tanmay Singh, thank you for your super chat. C2 is a weakness. Manav Rawal, I like your point. C2 is weak, but also it's very difficult to attack it. No one has mentioned that F file is open. E3 is weak, perhaps C3 weakness, Satvik, maybe not such a big. Magnus will double the rooks and attack E5 and F5. Prashant Verma, I like your idea. Rook F2, Rook F1, putting pressure on F5. One thing which I feel here could happen is that A5 black may want to play, because then he gets the control of the D4 square. And B4 square. But sorry guys, just want to close this. Yeah. So white could play A5, but look at this. Magnus has played queen to C4. Yes, also, I mean, if Rook F2, Rook F1, you can always go Rook F7, Rook F8. But look at this decision. Magnus has played his queen to C4, and I'm a bit surprised with this decision. Om Prajapati, who's been a pillar of Indian chess for 6 months, says membership की वजह से एक ही highlighted message मिलता है. So using it to wish you a very happy birthday, Sagar bhai. Thank you. Thank you so much for your wishes, and thank you for being pillar of Indian chess for so many months. Very kind of you. Thank you. So I have one question. Okay. I will take here as Vidit, or I can play Rook E8. Both look interesting. But let's say I take, you take, and now I want to play B5. How do you like this move? The main thing is I want to kick that knight away. Thank you, Nitish, who's been member of Pillar of Indian Chess for 12 months. Says, happy birthday, Sagar. Thank you for everything you're doing to promote this amazing game. Thank you, Nitish. B5. If now take, I take back, I hit your knight. Let's say you interpose rook takes. Now the thing is, you can win the pawn on F5, but your knight is hanging. So you need to save it. And once you go back, I think you can think about entering with Rook A2 here. This looks pretty interesting here already. And I get a feeling that this could be what could happen, taking on C4. But also, guys, look at this. Rook E8, queen takes E6, rook takes E6. And this seems like a position where Vidit does not have to worry much. I don't like B5. White has queenside majority then. Well, my main aim of playing take and B5 was to dislodge this knight from its active square. Because imagine that if white, let's say I make a waiting move like Rook E8, and if white gets the move A5, I do feel that this is some pressure for white here. Although the engines don't agree with it and they say that you should play E4 or F4 with active play. But I think for human beings, this structure seems like white is putting a bit of pressure. The knight is more active than this knight here. Slightly. Yeah, I mean, did Magnus have to play Queen C4? I'm not sure. You know, he could have let it be. But on the other hand, Magnus felt that, you know, there's nothing much happening and Vidit can play maybe Rook E8. But you're right. I mean, he could have played B4, he could have played Rook F2, Rook F1. So there could be a possibility that Magnus is looking for equality and maybe he's okay with a draw. But I think not really, because Anish on the other hand is just half a point behind him. Which website is the big board? Both are Lichess, but the main board that I'm using is, there's a plugin called Prettier Lichess, which Rakshit, who's watching this, had helped me with. And the one on the right is normal Lichess board. I should flip it, yeah. So then, oh, by the way, look at this decision that Magnus has taken. Very surprising. Vidit took and Magnus takes with the B pawn. Wow. I didn't expect that. I was thinking he will take with the knight only. That's why he's the world champion, yeah. He's taken with the pawn, and now a new imbalance has been created where Magnus would like to put pressure with his rook on B7. So it's an important move for Vidit here. And here's my question to all of you. What should be played in this position? Black to play. What do you think should be played? Would king safety be a problem for both? Not really, Kashyap. I think Kashyap. Oh, nice, Kashyap. I think the position looks pretty safe for the kings. In fact, Black would even love to get his king in the center this way. Jai Pandit says, I want to play knight B4. Yeah, Jai, that's an interesting move. I like it because once your knight comes to B4, you will be putting pressure on the C2 point. So I like this move, knight B4. B6 is also another move. Vishal Saha has mentioned B6. So that also looks pretty good. And Tejas Doon says, happy birthday, Sagar. It's my birthday as well. Legends born on same day. Best wishes to Vidit and ChessBase. Thank you, Tejas, and wish you a very happy birthday as well. Mrutyunjay Jalan says, knight B4. I like your suggestion of knight B4 because now after knight B4, I'm attacking C2 and it's very uncomfortable to play C3 because your D3 pawn is weak. And I get a feeling that now Magnus has to go like rook FC1, which was not in his plan. But Carlsen could go rook AB1, attacking the knight. And then if you snatch this pawn, he might want to take on B7. But then Vidit can win another pawn, knight E3, attacking the rook. And after rook E1, where I am attacking here, you play F4 to defend your knight. And then maybe rook takes C7. But in this last position, Black has a very strong move. Can you find it? Which gives Vidit an advantage. What would be a good move here? Lavesh Tulsija, thank you for being backer of Indian chess right from the beginning. For 14 months. Happy birthday, Sagar. Thank you. Yes, Abhinav Anand, Rook D8. Very good. Also Paras Bhoir, Siddharth Bhatt. Rook DA D8 is the move. Not Rook F D8 also possible. Sri Datta, thank you for your super chat. And once I get rook A D8 here, it looks really good. Rook A D8. and there is pressure here. So this looks very cool. So I get a feeling that Vidit might think about going knight b4 here. The other possibility which you said is b6, so that later he can put his pawn on a5. Very logical, by the way, and like it very much. What else can you do? I think b6, knight b4. Other suggestion was rook a d8, just getting the rook in the center. But I don't like this for a very specific reason. White to move. What is the move here? Yeah, Srihari, I think that is, you can do it in any order. Yeah, you can start with a5, you can start with knight b4 for black. But in this position, white to play, why is rook a d8 not a good move? Yeah, Ekam Singh, like your move. Mamba, very good. Tushar Sanpal, Sneha Sheesh, Tizia Kumar, Rishi Sarda. Yeah, the move is a5. And with a5, you fix the weakness on b7. You cannot even play b6 because after a, b, c, b, rook takes a6 would hack. So you fix this and then you bring your rook over and you attack this pawn. So I don't think Vidit is ever going to allow such a move. Vidit is very careful about positional chess. You know, such things are not going to be missed out by player like Vidit, allowing white a5. SG says happy birthday, much love and respect. Thank you, SG. So I think this is around equal, and let's wait for the game how it develops. By the way, a big news that happened today was the fact that Daniel Dubov has tested positive and cannot continue with the rest of the event. So he will be forfeiting the rest of the rounds, which means Richard Rapport gets a walkover today. Also, Magnus Carlsen was yet to play Daniel, which gives him a full point, a big advantage there. And we'll see. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but well, in this COVID times, what can we do? Yeah, it's very dangerous anyway. Let's go to the game of Praggnanandhaa versus Fabiano Caruana. And Praggnanandhaa playing with white pieces here against Fabi. Again, a big encounter. And Pragg, who has played this tournament wonderfully. I think, first of all, 3 defeats for him continuously, then beating Vidit. He's really making the full advantage of this, playing fighting games in every round. Aristotle Descartes says Magnus needs Doodh Cola. c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, c6 was played here. e3. Can anyone tell me what is the name of this opening that black has chosen like this? What is it called? Knight bd7. I'll tell you something very special we did today on the birthday for it is on the Clips channel, by the way. I don't know if you have seen it already. Yes, it's known as the semi-Slav. Very good. It's not the Slav triangle variation, because that is without the knight on f6, note boom. This is known as semi-Slav with this setup. If you take, by the way, on c4 at like instead of e6 here, let's say you had started with c6, not with e6, and you take, it's known as Slav. But when you play c6, e6, it's known as semi-Slav because it's not full Slav. Knight bd7 here, then came queen to c2. Queen c2, bishop d6, b3, castles, bishop e2, b6, short castle, bishop b7, bishop b2, queen e7, a4 was played here. So you will see that white doesn't want to go e4 instantly, because if you go e4, de, knight e4, knight e4, queen e4, knight f6, queen c2. Now black plays a very typical move here. Can you find it? Black to play. Very typical move. People are saying that they can upload only one game in Google Form. So please make sure that in one file of yours you have multiple games. PGN file is never with one, like can be with one game, but it can also have multiple games. You need to figure it out how you can have multiple games in one PGN file. I'm talking about the first link in the description, which we decided to launch today. And I just want to talk a bit about it while you guys are thinking for this. So it is called India's Got Chess Talent, and I'll tell you what it is about here. So what we did was that there are a lot of people who are stuck at chess, who want to improve, who are very good at it, but unfortunately are not able to improve because they don't have the right guidance. And with India's Got Chess Talent, we made a form where you can submit your games, where you can submit your details very carefully, yeah, in the form, and then we will select a few of the good entries, and we will impart them with good training from myself, from good trainers in India, grandmasters, international masters, and you will get a good kind of direction for improvement. It is my way of thanking all of you for all the support that you have given me. And it's the first link in the description, so please do check it out. But the main important thing is adding your games in one database. Many people have added just one game. You need to send at least 10 or more games there so that we can analyze and see what's going wrong. Sarah Sharma says, happy birthday, Sagar. Love you. Thank you, Sarah. Mr. Great One says, hi, Sagar. Just joined. Quick question. Any reasons for Karyakin's game ending so soon? Today game with Shakhriyar is a draw too. I think Karyakin and Shakhriyar are good friends of each other. And yeah, Karyakin sometimes does take quick draws, and it is not the best, but well, sometimes he prefers playing that way. Yeah, c5 is a good move here, a very strong move, c5, and it opens up the bishop and is very good. So that was the move, but that is the reason why you see white doesn't go instantly e4. You think with e4 you are getting a lot of play, like you're opening up the position, but it also helps black. Tal has sent in a super chat saying, happy birthday, Sagar. Is Rishi going to play any upcoming tournaments? Well, I don't know. I don't think anything is planned yet for Rishi, but if he plays something, we will get to know for sure. Right now, I don't see anything on the horizon. A4, A5 was played here, and then bishop d3, bishop b4, rook a to c1, h6, queen e2. So both sides moving back and forth a bit. Rook a d8, rook f d1, rook e8, bishop b1, bishop d6, rook e1, bishop b4, rook e d1. Pragg is like, you want to draw? Fabi says, no, I want to play on. Maybe Pragg would have also not accepted a draw. Knight e5. He took, pawn takes, knight d7, and now the position has clarified a bit. And here, look at this, Praggnanandhaa, very smart. He goes queen c2. And my question to you is, what happens after knight takes e5? Isn't this a free pawn? Guys, Guys, you need to figure out a way in which in one PGN file there are multiple games. It's possible. One PGN file is not just one game. You can have a PGN file is like a box. You can have multiple games in it. You just select those games and do it. But figure out a way. Supriya Kapas, thank you for becoming backer of Indian chess. Very nice. Shivam Namdev 1234B, Ritabrita Burman, Sayandeep Ghosh, Ranjit Rajput, Anshul Nanwani, Abhinav Kamath, Deven Tiwari. Very nice. Check here, King F8 and mate. That is how it works. Jai Pandit, who's been member of booster of Indian chess for 12 months, says you can run this in the Windows command prompt with all the files you want to merge. This what he has written. You guys have to check. I'm not technically so inclined, but I don't understand it so well. But I'm sure what he's written makes sense. So Queen C2, Pragg is threatening a mate in 2 here. Something has to be done by Fabi, and I think he will go knight F8 here or G6. But that will lead to some interesting position with F4. Things will get exciting. Phoenix 514 says, happy birthday Sagarva, you helped me improve my chess from 800 to 1550 rating. Stay blessed. Well, you have to improve further. That's why the first link is India's Got Chess Talent. So here's a mating idea, and let's see how that goes. Going back to Vidit Gujrathi versus Magnus Carlsen, Akshat, who's been a backer of Indian chess for 12 months, says, thanks for the great coverage and happy birthday. Thank you, Akshat. Oh, by the way, look at this. Vidit has gone E4 here. And this is what I think Rakshit had asked. Very interesting move by Vidit actually. Very, very concrete. So here's my question. If I take, like, I'm winning a pawn, right? What does Vidit have in mind? Maybe to take. And then if you take here, I guess he wants to maybe play rook F E8, attacking here. And Hess, thank you for your super chat. And if you move the knight, then this is hanging. If you go knight C5, I have B6. So very interesting positional pawn sacrifice by Vidit. We were talking about moves like knight B4. We were talking about B6. But Vidit is like, let's go. Let's go for E4. He can play D4, Patrick bro. It is a possibility. But I guess then C4 is a bit weak and knight B4 is possible. I attack knight B4 to C2. And it could become a weakness. Let's say rook FC1. I think Vidit chose that this position is much better than going directly knight B4. So he chose this E4 idea, and I think it's a very active move. And with Carlsen, generally you want to clarify situation. You don't want to get into positions where he can maneuver around and he can put pressure on you. So goes E4. Saloni Gupta asks me what's wrong with my hair. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the problem. Yeah, it's a long time. Can't fix it. But I can cut it, yeah. Like now I'm thinking of cutting my hair a bit and removing it. No, it's not minus for Magnus, for sure. I mean, it's not bad. I guess if you play here, Vidit can take back. Also, Vidit can interpose rook a d8, hitting the knight. And then Magnus can try to save this. Then Vidit can go knight b4 or can take on e4. Rook takes f8. Maybe king takes f8. You do not know. It's a position filled with so many weaknesses. This is weak, this is weak, this is weak, this is weak, e4 is weak. So both sides have weaknesses there. Ant Hess says happy birthday Sagar bhai. Thank you, Ant Hess. Do you do you think VD can open his winning account against Carlsen today? I'm not sure. I think the possibility of this game ending in a draw is high because of the low number of pieces on the board, but we are still far away from a draw for sure. And also we'll have some expert commentators joining in, so we'll ask them what their thoughts are. Sagar sir, what about rook a3, says Dharmil Vyas. But where, Dharmil? You want to play rook a3 here? What's the rook doing here? But it is defending, no? You want to put rooks on open files. Yeah, I've asked Samai to join today to watch the match of Vidit, but I don't know if he'll join. I think he's playing Pokemon, so maybe he'll join later. But we have not Samai, someone else. We'll go to Arjun's game. But I wanted to see Arjun's game with the expert who's joining us. Let's look at Anish Giri's game, because Anish has a great chance of catching up with Magnus Carlsen if he wins today against Jorden van Foreest. But Jorden is not an easy opponent. Sravan Kumar Morugu says, why is Wesley So not playing the tournament, Sagar? Wesley So, I think, is not playing this one, but he is playing in FIDE Grand Prix. So it will be great to see him finally back in action. Wesley has been off the grid for some time, but he will be back in the FIDE Grand Prix. Now this Jorden versus Anish is a great rivalry, I would say, friendly rivalry that is building up. First of all, both from the Netherlands. Anish clearly the higher rated player. He has 2772. Jorden is around 2700. But Jorden is very creative, very confident, very self-confident. Also, him working with Magnus now was interesting. You know, he gained some tools or weapons from working for the world champion. Secondly, it's always nice, you know, when you get to work for the world champion. But at the same time, he was working with Anish before, so there is a bit of like great friendliness, but also, you know, they want to fight with each other. And this is such an important game because if Anish can beat Jorden, he can join Magnus at the top. Magnus is on 7 points. Anish is on 6.5. So there's a half point difference. And if Vidit holds Magnus in that game, and if Anish can win here, he gets even with Magnus. C4, E6, Knight to C3, Bishop B4. This is known as the Sagar Vaidya. Thank you for becoming backer of Indian chess. Jorden defeated Anish in the last Tata Steel. Yes. Why is the bar not in Anish's favor in spite of being an exchange up? Good question. We will have to analyze it. And guys, we have our expert who is joining us right now. Any guesses on who that expert is? Any guesses? Let's see who can get it right. Our expert commentator. Let's see who's the first one to get it right. Yes, Abdul Zubair, you are right. Because of Magnus will not play Dubov, he'll get 1 point. But that Anish also got in a way. No. Varat Kausadikar, you are right. You're right. Well, let's have our expert commentator here joining in all the way from Delhi, the one and only. थोड़ा time लगेगा. She'll join. She was a big hint there. Tanya Sachdev will be joining us today. And it's very nice to have her. But let's see. Where is she? She's joined the call. ऐसा पूरा build-up किया लेकिन अरे
ये आए बार बार दिल ये गाए तुम जियो हजारों साल दिल की है आरज़ू हैप्पी बर्थडे सागर what's up
Yo, Tanya, welcome. So, what singing,
happy
man?
birthday I know right
But तुम चेहरा, you're not showing your
Oh,
face.
wait. Dude, I have to attach my एक second, रुक जा, camera.
What, you are going to come with just voice or what?
Is that not good enough? Are you calling my singing not good enough?
No. I was like कि तेरा expressions वगैरह कैसा है गाते वक्त? Are you closing your eyes
Dude,
to?
my heart was like beating super fast. एक तो मेरे को lyrics नहीं आते इस गाने के properly.
Oh, one sec.
I was really confused. Like right before I was going on unmute, I was saying कि should I do happy birthday or should I do तुम जियो हजारों साल? So then I went for the second one.
Why did you choose the Hindi version?
Because उसमें happy birthday to you तो आ ही जाता है ना बाद में. Hi chat, what is up? यार मैं stream पे इतने time बाद आ रही हूँ.
हाँ बहुत time हो गया. In fact, I think the last time you streamed was when? Tata Steel, yeah?
Yeah, like
I mean, that was a stream and then World Championship you were there like on and off covering there.
मैंने तेरी chat खोली अभी सब कह रहे हैं rest in peace guys एक second it wasn't that bad एक तो ना कोई मतलब value ही नहीं है कोई ऐसे risk लेता है उन्हें पता है उनकी क्या ही घटिया आवाज है they're like we're still gonna do it and ऐसे chat मतलब लगा ही देती है
Chat is like, at first when you're not emotional they'll be like, oh bad RIP years, and then when you say ye kya hai वगैरह, then they're like, very sweet voice Tanya, we just love your voice.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you feel bad about yourself and if it's then they'll be really nice chat but chat is like a mirror, it's a reality check.
Chat is what I had said, chat
Chat is a reflection of the streamer.
Correct, exactly.
Okay, let me tell chat about this. हम जब Tata Steel में थे, I think this is when you told me this. We were having this conversation about streaming, and then ऐसे Sagar was giving me a real his wisdom session, and then I was talking about streaming. तो ऐसे उसने मुझे बोला था. That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
कैसा है सागर आज क्या किया तुमने पूरा दिन?
आज ना nothing much. I took some rest and we also launched a new program on ChessBase India. It's called India's Got Chess Talent.
Wow.
And in that is a Google form where people can fill in and they have to answer like a lot of questions about their aims in chess, what they want, and they have to attach 20 games, 10 to 20 games. And then I or some good players from India will analyze those games and give them suggestions on how to improve. So it's like chat motivation, because a lot of people think that they have got stuck at a specific rating. So I want to push that a bit, कि क्या गलत हो रहा है, maybe look at their games a bit and so on.
Where can I apply? That sounds like a really great initiative. So you guys will be providing coaching and all to...
It will, at least on the surface, at first, there will be at least one session to help them कि क्या गलत हो रहा है. And if there is real talent in that person, then we'll back him, like कि चलो tournament जाओ, खेलो. But that will happen soon. So a few players like Swapnil Dopade, maybe Shyam Sundar, they will join in, they will analyze one game. Maybe, at some point I'll talk to you if we can do it, and, it will be great fun.
I want to apply, dude.
You can apply as a trainer. मतलब तुम सिखाओगी. Of course you cannot.
अच्छा मुझे अब ऑडिशन करना होगा ट्रेनर बनने के
नहीं ऑडिशन नहीं, अप्लाई नहीं, मतलब तुम करोगी, बट अभी स्टूडेंट के लिए तो क्या ही सिखाए
हाँ,
तुमको.
ठीक है, आज तेरा बर्थडे है तो इट्स अलाउड. खुद की स्ट्रीम पे बुला के कह दे ये सब. So yeah.
So Tanya, how are things with you? I figured that you are right now training and you have this very nice program that you are teaching people.
So this is something that I'm doing. I'm doing it with MyDigi World. It's like an online learning platform, interactive, and one of those. It happens on Zoom. I had my first class yesterday. So it's 12 classes, and I've sort of kind of designed a course which covers all the aspects of the game that I felt were very important growing up. And so yeah, it was a lot of fun. We did our first session yesterday, and I think the next one is next week. I'm very excited to see how this goes. And it's really my first time doing this online stuff, and going to be a fun experience.
Amazing.
So let's see what happens. But I've been so unwell the last 2-3 weeks that it's just now finally I'm feeling better. By the way, I'm streaming tonight.
हाँ.
Yeah.
कितने बजे?
तेरे birthday के दिन.
अरे बढ़िया. What time? I mean, I'll raid
I think
you.
it's gonna be one of those late night streams.
हाँ,
maybe. I
मजा
don't
आएगा.
know what time.
I
I'll
think
do it.
after this stream, all the people can go and तो ऐसा कुछ तो मत करना, चैट चैलेंज वगैरह, चैट बोलेगा नाचो तो यू विल डांस एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट.
क्या ही fun था वो, क्या बोल रहा है? That was
No, that was very good, but it's very risky. Chat will
It's
say
very risky.
ये सैक मारो तो मारना पड़ेगा.
हाँ ना यार, it was just, but it was a lot of fun when we did that. But no, this time I'm doing it with Dina, so it is a challenge with
Oh, Dina.
So Dina and I will be sort of doing an ultimate battle. We'll be playing chess and
Oh,
trying to beat each other.
but I got to know Dina when she played with AD. AD thought like he'll crush, adopt her, and she fought so well and didn't let him. I mean, she equalized the score or something.
I want to say AD was distracted, but I feel those jokes are not appropriate anymore.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Like,
At some point, I have to
Or
invite.
his wife are not watching this.
If she is not watching, they'll definitely clip this and.
Clip it and ship it, guys.
Nikdo Bhattacharji, thank you for your birthday wishes. And let's go back, Tanya. Should we look at some game?
Yeah, so I'll have to look at it on my Zoom thing. How do I have to pin your video then? Na?
हाँ, वहाँ पे देख सकते हो, or you can, yeah, it's better to look here and just, I mean, getting your thoughts in. We saw Vidit's game a bit. By the way, Vidit's open. Let's just get your thoughts on Vidit game. Carlsen versus Vidit looks very equalish for now. But क्या लग रहा है तुमको? This is the position. Vidit is black, Carlsen is white, and right now this is the situation. Just to give you a small context, what happened in the last few moves. पहले तो e4 e5 में bishop c4 खेला Carlsen. It was like, Vidit, I don't want your Petrov in the picture. And then Magnus took this very interesting decision of playing queen c4, offering a queen trade, and then when Vidit took b takes c4, e4 was played by Vidit, and I was expecting that Vidit will go knight b4 or b6, a5, but e4 was a very like a head-on move. Ki, bhai, I want to clarify things, and then White played d4. So now we have reached here. And Tanya, how do you basically kind of assess such positions? तुम क्या सोचती हो? Like as a player, what are your thoughts?
I have a feeling that White will have some play down the b file. This b pawn, there'll be some decisions that have to be taken with this pawn. If you go b6 further, at some point a5 or c5 can happen. So that could be a plan. But the one thing I notice is Kia, I think, is the first position that has gone into an endgame for Magnus. Usually we know Magnus for an endgame grind. But I think this is the first time that I feel it's going to be one of those long end games. I don't think black is worse here. And I can see the bar, by the way. I can see the bar on our call. So I can see that it shows a pretty level end game. And I think for this b7 weakness, White has got this double pawn. Black will try to play knight b4, attack the c2 pawn. Agar c3 aayega, to fir knight can jump to d3 as well.
Correct.
So there are these ideas. If I had to predict a result right now, I think most likely this will end in a draw. But knowing Magnus, I think he's going to try and take every chance. He's known for his endgame play, trying to just draw literally water out of stone in these kind of positions. So we can expect this to be a long fight. But looking at the position, I think Vidit should hold this without too much trouble.
We had this image of Magnus once where we had put him in a role of वो sugarcane juice बनाने वाला रहता है ना, who makes sugarcane juice. So what he does is he takes one ganna, he puts it into the machine, then it comes out, then he उसको half करता है, फिर से डालता है, then he squeezes some more juice, then he makes it half again, then he puts it in. So like in every position, Magnus will keep pressing to get that last drop out of it completely. But
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, like Vidit has got his trumps here, as you said. Like knight b4, c2 pe pressure hai. He has to tie up one of his rooks. Then Vidit will go a5. If you play c3, then the knight will sit here. So looks like Vidit has his trumps and a clear plan.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like super easy for Vidit also, because just coming back to the squeezer thing that you were talking about, and I was just thinking that that's so true. So I think he's gonna try and push for every bit. It's not gonna be a short draw like we've seen some of the other ones. And Will, what's been your opinion about the Tata Steel event so far? How's it been for you?
बहुत मजा आ रहा है. I mean, it's
ना?
like,
Crazy games.
as always, Tata Steel somehow magically can make chess lighten up. I don't know how they do it. Sometimes it's the same players playing each other, but Tata Steel में आते ही बहुत मजा आता है देखने को. You have the same guys, but it's great fun.
Yeah.
And talking about this event, no, Tanya, one player stands out totally. You know whom I'm talking about. And I want to know. Sorry?
Magnus?
नहीं Magnus तो सबको पता है.
In this tournament, yeah, in this particular Tata Steel.
In this, but
I
not
mean, for
in.
me, it's Arjun.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to talk about, and that's what I told people, that when our expert commentator joins, which is you, we will look at Arjun's game together, because I really want to get your thoughts on. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, he's drawn already. Okay. So he drew against Erwin Lamy.
You really have faith in my commentary skill, asking me to like commentate on a game that's already over, Sagar.
नहीं मुझे पता नहीं था. But what are your thoughts on Arjun? Yeah, we were in Tata Steel. He was doing well at Rapid. We knew that he's very good at Rapid and Blitz. But here pe classical में भी killing
Did
it.
you hear what Magnus had to say about Arjun? I think that really sums up a lot. I mean, the fact that he said that he's going to be 2,700 in no time. And he said ki it's not a surprise. We've seen the way he's been playing the last few months. And this is not a surprise at all. The only thing surprising is the margin with which he's winning. That is so big. But otherwise, he's by far the best player in the field. And those are some big words coming from Magnus.
And he said, I really like the way he plays chess, which is big. Yeah, like I thought that is something ऐसे बोलना. So what I did is, when he said it, I wrote to Tata Steel organizers and I said, can I take that part? Because it's a memory of a lifetime, like that part of an interview. So they said okay, and I put it on ChessBase India. And I think sponsors out there should definitely invest in Arjun. Like if Magnus thinks he's good, he's good.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think in the world, they played in the Blitz, right?
They played in World Blitz. Drew.
How did it end?
It drew. They ended in a draw.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was also quite an epic game. Yes. So Magnus, definitely, I think whatever he said, and I'll tell you one thing about Magnus, right? When he talks, when he praises somebody, or if he says, it's never to be polite. Like his opinions are brutally honest on people.
Correct.
So if he's saying that, he actually has a lot of respect for Arjun, and it's not coming out of just for the sake of it.
True.
He actually means every word of it, and that's high praise coming from him.
Absolutely. And there were a lot of people who have been very surprised with Arjun's rise, because for almost like couple of years or 3 to 4 years, Praggnanandhaa, Nihal Sarin, these were the players who were dubbed as who will go on to become like top players and world class from India. They are still doing excellently, but Arjun has risen very quickly, and this has been amazing to see. And I feel just right now we had our latest GM, 73rd GM, Bharat Subramaniam, who is 14 years old, and it can happen in the next 2 years. This guy starts rising up, and no one actually thought that it would be him. So that's how Indian talent is right now.
Yeah, you just never know when they have that breakthrough moment. I think for Arjun, it was definitely last year. Like all of last year, the kind of performances he had, he was always, a strong player. But then he really broke into the league and held his own. I mean, the way he played in Calcutta, the way he played in even the World Rapid and Blitz, just every tournament that he played was really quite something. By the way, I'm just trying to open the live games. What's the action like on the other boards?
Let's go. But right now, Vidit has played f4. And what I'm seeing here, Tanya, is that Vidit is taking very concrete decisions against Magnus. And this seems like a conscious attempt. If I let's not play a long maneuvering game with Magnus where he's also moving around, I'm also moving around. He's saying, like here, Vidit could have played b6, a5, something like that, but he goes e4, very concrete. Ki mara mari karte, let's fight. D4, now again F4.
Yeah. Super concrete. And I think the point is right. You can't outmaneuver a player like Magnus. The longer the game goes on, the more chances are that you will make more mistakes than him. So Vidit's approach is key to play very, very concrete and try and simplify the position as quickly as possible. But such kind of play requires very precise calculation. So I think this move F4 is actually quite interesting because two pawns are hanging, Sagar. Look at the pawn structure in the center, right? Like F, E, D, C, and then there's a pawn on E3. Now, white can take the E4 pawn, plus white can take the F4 pawn.
Yes, and also he can push D5.
He can push D5. I think these are the three candidate moves, actually. And it's interesting. I want to know, like, what is the first move that you would consider out of these three? And what does chat feel as well? Because I feel all these three moves need to be looked at. Like, instinctively, what would you play here? Which pawn would you grab, or would you go for D5?
Yeah, I would definitely think of D5 because if black can't do much, then E takes F4 is a free pawn. Just abhi, if I play E takes F4, then my D4 pawn is hanging. So, pehla move which comes to mind is like D5.
D5, my only thing is what happens. So, after D5, you're totally right. If the knight moves, you win a pawn for free, right?
Yes. Even knight
maybe
B4
knight
not.
B4 or knight E5, maybe knight B4 is a possibility. But the first move you have to look after D5 is definitely F takes E3.
Right.
This is when it gets wild.
And if he takes knight E4 now?
Let's go with our knight to, again, big questions. D4 also is so tempting. Let's go knight D4.
Yeah, looks good. And in fact, this pawn which looks little weak actually could become very strong. Yeah, with E2 coming, rook F8.
Knight C2.
Knight C2. Yeah, so this is not what Magnus is. So D5 is out of question, Tanya, because FE3 is very good.
So if D5, that leaves us with two moves, right?
Yeah.
Taking the E4 pawn or taking the F4 pawn. Now, if you take the F4 pawn, I think Vidit will be super happy.
Yeah.
Because then you just grab D4. And now we look at the pawn structure, right? Magnus's pawn structure sucks compared to Vidit's pawn structure here. C2 is hanging. After C3, there's knight E2 check, knight into C3. We can point that out.
Right.
So this, again, I think Vidit would be super happy to get.
And if I take knight E4, I win a pawn.
Now the question is, do you want to go knight E2 and pick up the F4 pawn, leaving white with those two weaknesses? I would like to do that.
Nice. Check, king, let's say to H2. And you take on F4 and you tell that material is equal and white pawns are weak.
Yeah.
So at the very least equal.
Yeah. I like black's position.
Okay. So that means that taking on F4 is out of question. D5 is out of question.
So is Magnus going to go for knight E4 then?
So if you take here.
Only one move, right?
Yeah, Vidit must take this. And now D4 is hanging here. And we saw that D5 is knight D4 is transposing what we have already seen.
Yeah.
So C3.
This is actually not so. I think Magnus has to be maybe slightly careful here.
Exactly, क्योंकि यहाँ पे समझो rook F8, ये knight पे attack and ये pawn भी आगे बढ़ रहा है. Like this looks dangerous for Magnus.
That E pawn is just a bit of a beauty.
Exactly. This looks great. And knight A5, Tanya, hitting this C4 pawn. That square is weak. This looks great for Vidit. Okay, so that means actually F4 is putting Magnus in a kind of a doubtful situation. Kya karna hai? What about taking with the rook? Or maybe it doesn't change anything, right? Or does it? Like rook takes.
You have to take back with the rook and take on the d4 pawn. I mean, this is at least this much is forced. And now I think white has to capture e4 again. But once more, very pleasant choice. Knight e2, knight f4. I prefer that to taking the c2 pawn, because why help your opponent get rid of their weakness?
Like here, instead of taking on c2, you go knight e2, here knight f4. My only worry is that is the king getting active too much? No, but g2 is hanging. So this again
I really like f4, you know. I don't even think we've been talking about him going for this very direct and concrete approach to neutralize white, but actually I think maybe Magnus has to kind of not take things too lightly right now.
Yes. And f4, which looked like as a clarifying move, seems like Magnus is walking on a tightrope. Yeah, I mean, how easy do you think, Tanya, is a move like king f2?
Okay, he hasn't played yet. Wow, king f2. I mean, honestly, when this position came on the board after f4, the three moves were d5, knight e4, e takes f4, right? King f2 is, and the more I look at it, the more I like it, because let's point out that after f takes e3, white centralizes the king with a big tempo, defends the d4 pawn. The e4 pawn is going to be lost, and this is not good news for black.
Ye to
right?
dream position. I mean, when we talk about king being an active piece in an endgame, this is what we are talking about. Beautiful king on e3.
This is that king that we're talking about. That's true. So king f2 is a very interesting move. Let's go back. After king f2, we're not forced to take e3, right? So what if we try to improve our position? What about a move like knight b4? Let's try and go direct for a moment.
You're going here. So you are attacking this. How about I defend it with rook fc1?
So I think that's the only move, because otherwise knight c2 was coming in.
Yeah. Sachin Ranade says, happy birthday, Arjun OP. Thank you, Sachin Ranade.
Happy birthday to you. So can we go rook e8 now and continue our path to improve our
You
position?
mean this rook?
Because why not? Yes.
Okay.
So I mean, it has to be this rook, right? Because the other one's nicely placed.
True. And then let's say I try to get my king out from the f file, king e2. This is a very intense battle, no? Somehow this knight is well positioned. You got your rooks behind here, but white has improved his king. And you can never take.
Black can be worse here. I don't know what's the right move, but I don't think black can be worse here. I mean, just visually looking at the position. I like a5. I think at some point you'll have to play it anyway after rook b1.
But the engine does not like it. You know, it says you'll take, and then king put E3, king e3, and then it is.
Yeah.
This is, I think, what Magnus and you know, Tanya, if in this position Magnus plays king f2, I will be like amazed.
This is such a Magnus move. Why would you be amazed? I mean, king f2, it will take us a while to find this move. But I think if Magnus plays king f2, because the thing is also, right, Sagar, if you look at the other options, you can eliminate them. Because we saw Vidit getting a really good position out of all the other trades.
Right. King f2 is that move, you know, Tanya, in morning when I make tea, okay, I'm boiling it on the gas, and then wo gas as a tea comes up. So if it comes up really high, I have to switch off the gas. But I have to find that right measure of that. It doesn't boil outside the pot. And it keeps it going, you know, like I said, chal raha. So the taste of ginger and everything comes in. So you have to keep going. And king f2. Yeah.
So you keep brewing the position, kya?
Sort of, you know, like so Magnus.
No, I love it. It's true. I really like that. That's an interesting analogy. But he has to make sure that it doesn't like explode out of the whole plate जो उसके ऊपर रखा है.
Exactly. वो हो जाता है. कभी-कभी बहुत ऐसे करते करते वो फिर
मेरे साथ हर बार ही हो जाता है वो. जब भी मैं चाय बनाती हूँ वही होता है. सिर्फ चाय बनाती नहीं, इस एनालॉजी में चेस भी खेलती हूँ तब भी वही होता है.
यार चाय इजियर है चेस में तो वो होता ही है एवरी टाइम, बट एटलीस्ट चाय में थोड़ा यू कैन कंट्रोल.
Dude, you should be the last one saying that, okay? I remember जब हम कहाँ तो थे, चेन्नई, ओलंपिया चेन्नई से खेला था ना?
Yeah.
हाँ, चेन्नई में थे, like चाय के बारे में, every time I remember you would try to pour like chai into another cup. Dude, the whole thing was like falling off, let alone like boiling the chai and brewing the chai.
ChessBase India clips is the proof that I was very good at it.
कुछ भी, okay, Amrita will put that 1 out of 100 जिसमें you managed to do it.
Okay, let's come back to chess, and I think Tanya king f2, yeah, that is what
तो
is.
मैग्नस यहाँ पे चाय बनाएगा, तू कह रहा है?
हाँ, चाय मतलब चाय को वो ऐसे perfect heat करेगा. So that is how this would happen. And what is your opinion, Tanya, on Praggnanandhaa in this tournament? Because he is like this 16-year-old boy who has been thrown to these wolves, yeah, like these top players. कि जाओ खेलो इनके साथ. It's not easy, yeah, to play with these guys.
Dude, I strongly disagree with that. He's not a 16-year-old boy who's been thrown. He's a 16-year-old boy who's walking like a king over there. Like, I've been waiting for this opportunity. Bring it on. He's that 16-year-old boy.
Yeah, I agree in a way, but he has been having a tough time in this event. Like he has, I think, lost 5 games already, but he's shown that he can fight. Like after 3 losses, he beat Vidit yesterday, and Vidit has been in good form. Yeah.
No, I think he played very well yesterday. I think what really also works is, right, there's no pressure. For him, it's this huge opportunity and this playing with these big boys and just giving it his best. And let's not forget all that happened. Ramesh was tested positive.
Yes.
And that also, I mean, that just shows the mental strength that Pragg has at like 16. He's there in Vike, which is literally in the middle of nowhere. He's gone with his trainer who falls sick, and then he's fighting every game with the best in the world. And still, yesterday's game, the one before the rest day, I think he played really, really well. Every game has been fighting chess. And I think for Pragg, this is just that tournament that he wants to play. He's the kind of player who wants to play against these guys all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for him, every moment is learning experience. And he had said, I'm looking forward to playing Magnus, but also Fabi. And today he's up against Caruana. And already the position looks very dangerous for White. Because on one hand, if you count the pawns, it is equal. But Black has an outside passed pawn. Secondly, look at this bishop, man. It is amazing with the queen jumping over to g5 to put pressure here.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to say what's going on here. But Fabi's been struggling in this tournament, no?
Yes, he has lost to Richard Rapport last game. He lost to Anish. And I mean, he's not himself as such. But I guess these last 3 rounds, he's trying to make a comeback.
Okay, so let's just see what's happening, because I see the bar is giving a massive advantage to Black. And I think the reason for that is that even though mathematically the pawns are equal, but actually Black just has this extra A pawn as well, which actually, once it starts advancing, let's say a move like, I don't know, bishop c6, a4, a3, at some point, it can get very dangerous for White.
Perfect. I think, Tanya, you hit the nail on the head. That White, in order to create some play here, cannot do it because of this knight, which is controlling, and Black is just moving ahead with his queenside extra pawn.
It is literally an extra pawn, because this e3, e5, if we see this pawn on e5, it gets a lot of space for White. It stops Black. It controls his d6, f6 square, but it also blocks White's own bishop.
Yeah.
It's sort of like your own best friend and your own worst enemy.
True.
I mean, White kind of almost doesn't want this pawn here to be able to create an attack on the king side.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
while this Black a pawn is just, that's the gem in Black's position.
I mean, for Pragg, it is like how to create play, and maybe one way is to just try and go f4, f5. But even that is not clear, yeah? Like I can just take and then e5 would be a weakness. But at some point, he has to find a way to do something.
I mean, I have a feeling like this kind of a position, Fabi will convert.
Right.
It is going to be very difficult. Pragg will have to create something which looks right now very tough. Simply because I don't see a very direct compensation for this a5 pawn that White has.
I think one idea could be that what you were talking about here, a4. I
Yeah.
try to plonk my rook here. Okay, try and double somehow, and then eventually try for f4, f5. But uske baad bhi, like even if I do all these moves and black doesn't even move, I don't know what to do next.
Yeah, I mean, black can kind of also continue with a3 right now.
Yes.
And the position just sort of continues. I'm not.
The only thing is that after a3, white will also say कि भाई तुम कहाँ जा रहे हो with this pawn. I have it covered.
Psychologically, it's also very scary to have a pawn on a3. No, it's right now it's not queening, but at some point it's always a threat that you have to be really careful about.
Correct. Also,
And
maybe queen a7 with the idea of bishop a4 here, and then
I
you
really
can't
like
put
that,
on
yeah.
d1 something.
Yeah, no, this is a difficult position for Pragg for sure.
ठीक है. So this one is tough. I want to also get your opinion on Anish Giri versus Van Foreest, because we were talking about this game and this sort of friendly rivalry between these two Dutch players. One, of course, Anish and Jorden have worked with each other, but on the other hand, Anish
And
is
then
number
Jorden
one.
went on and worked with Magnus.
And Anish never said anything that, oh, yeah, what's up? So,
Oh, Sagar, are you throwing shade here on someone else?
No. I'm just joking there. But, Jordan beat Anish last time to win Tata Steel. And now Anish is wanting, he's just half a point away from Magnus. So he's on 6.5. Magnus is on 7. So this is a very important game for Anish. But if you look at how it's panning out, it's a very interesting. Should we go from very quickly from the beginning?
Yeah, that's because I think it's kind of nice to see how the position got to this completely whack-looking situation we have.
Oh, look at this. He went a3, which is like a very bold way to play against the Nimzo.
And it's a rare way to play. It's definitely not one of the main moves.
It's like this, Tanya, that you come here, okay, and you say, I'm pinning your knight. So then careful players are like, oh, pinning the knight, double pawn karega. Let me play queen c2. Let me play bd2. Let me take care. But Jorden is like, hey, Anish, I don't believe that you want to give your bishop. I'm playing it. It's like you are just questioning your opponent's ideology.
Like, iske baad kya?
Take b6, f3, knight c6, e4, knight a5. So he's trying to get this typical attack on the c4 pawn. Bishop d3, bishop a6, queen e2, d6.
Personally, I played these positions a bit, and the thing is that in these positions, strategically, white is worse, right? Because of these pawns. So the thing is, yes, you have space, you have two bishops, but you have to play active. You have to try to create chances. If it goes into an end game, actually, black is just completely better in these positions because of the c4, c3 pawn. Very often, they die. You were able to win them. So it's very important that white has some concrete ideas. So that sort of explains the position we currently have, that Jorden, with this taking this structure, wanted a wild game out of it. Because after playing a3, you can't play a quiet game. You can't go like, I'm going to have a long grind.
Correct. So Jorden went he's like, chodo ye weakness hai that is there in my life. I'm going all out, f4. By the way, Tanya, on our little board on the side, you can see what has happened on Vidit's game. He took rook f4, ef4, and knight d4.
So no king f2.
No, it didn't happen. So,
oh damn, and they're blitzing our moves now. So to me, knight e4 has been played.
Yeah.
And here we were thinking whether black should take the c2 pawn or to go knight e2 check and take on f4.
Yes.
But you know what? This to me seems as if maybe Magnus just feels like he's okay with a draw in this game, because now it's very hard to imagine white being able to do anything here.
Yeah, I think so. He just doesn't feel like. But you think, like, let's say go knight e2, king f2, you take, and then I go rook b1, just trying to put pressure here. मतलब खेल सकते हैं ना थोड़ा बहुत.
And b6 के बाद?
And then c5, maybe just try to. I don't know. It should be a draw, yeah, but too much.
It feels like it should simplify somewhere, but I see your point that he can try and create this b file play.
Maybe he can target this weakened a6 pawn later with a5, and hope for something. But we say these things because he's Magnus. Generally, if it was someone else, we would be like, "नहीं नहीं ये तो draw ही हो जाएगा."
Yeah, there's always that player bias, when
Yeah.
you know who's playing, sometimes your assessment of the position changes.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, let's keep this on the side and go back to our
Anish's game, yeah.
Anish game. And so here, Queen D7, Knight F3, Queen A4. So he went there and he defended on C4.
Anish has been spending a lot of time with greedy VD, going for the C4 pawn.
And look at the time. He's down to 1 hour and Jorden had 1 hour 38 minutes. Castles, FE, DE.
Do you know that Vaikanze is the only tournament that has the same time control format as a World Championship?
Acha, it is the World Championship format. Yeah.
It's the super long, proper classical format.
Oh, I didn't correlate that it World Championship में भी यही time format था. Oh, very cool. So यहाँ पे Rook B1 खेला, and then when Black went C5, Tanya, White to play.
What is this, yeah?
sorry. एक question.
Okay, wait, what? C5, White to play.
हाँ, मतलब थोड़ा chat को भी question है. Chat, you also think. By the way, huge super chat by Tarun Khandelwal, who has sent 250 AED. And guys, because I was in Dubai recently, I know that you can multiply it by 20. That's like 5,000 rupees. So thank you, Tarun, for that.
Happy birthday. Okay, wait, White to play, yeah?
Parth Maheshwari says, hi Sagar, after wishing Anand. हाँ बोलो.
No, I was just going to say to chat that it has to be something a bit crazy only. So the first crazy stuff that comes to mind is Rook F6 and then to pray. But then I'm looking at Sagar and he's expressionless when I said Rook F6. I'm not going to say.
नहीं, सही था. It was very हाँ, correct. Rook takes F6.
I'm like that student in class ऐसे answer दे के teacher की शक्ल देखो.
Teacher, it is Shiva. No, it was Maharana. So yeah, take G takes F6, Queen F3. He got his queen back. D5, Queen D6, Rook, Knight F1. So the knight is coming from here to here or here. Bishop, King H8, Knight E3, Bishop C8, BD2. But Tanya, what do you think about this exchange sacrifice?
I was just contemplating that because if you look at the bar since the exchange has been given, and we all know that engines have such a material bias, right? They're the most materialistic gold digger things on the planet, right?
Correct.
But since he's gone Rook F6, we see that the engine's giving White an advantage. And that just shows what a strong sacrifice this is. And it's simply because Black's pieces have no play. The knight on A5 is going to be forever before it comes. And what is the future saga of the knight on A5? Which is the square you can come to? You can come to B7. You can come to D8.
Beautiful world, I want it on D6.
But the problem with if you want it on D6, but the F6 pawn is constantly hanging. Yes, if you got the knight on D6, things would be better. But it's going to be a long while before you get that.
Right.
And the F file with the F6 weakness, White's knight jumping onto these squares. It's crazy how much advantage the engine actually gives White in this position despite being an exchange down.
True. I'm also surprised because, Tanya, this Queen E7, Knight B7, Knight D6 possible hai.
Okay, yeah, that's true. You can still keep your pawn defended and go Queen E7. So what is it is this the live current position?
No. Then it went he went Rook G8, Bishop E1, Rook G6. So, Anish
So maybe that's the point. Sagar, if we just go back, your plan of Queen E7, Knight B7, Knight D6 is so attractive, but Anish probably spotted this Bishop E1, Bishop H4 idea, which hits the F6 pawn.
So you're saying this, Bishop E1, correct? Knight here, and then Bishop H4 or Khatam?
I don't see a way. I mean, or maybe you've got King to G7, but it looks very shaky. There should be something after that.
Yeah, Rook F1, I guess.
What is the move?
Just
Rook F1, just triple up the attack. And maybe that's why Anish had to go Rook G8, Rook G6 to defend this.
Yeah, true. So that, ideally it's great, but this is a very powerful plan. So Anish said, let me get my rook to g6. At least वहां पे तो save करेंगे. But after rook g6, bishop h4, rook h6, queen f2, I feel that Tanya now rook f1 and this pawn is really soft. He went bd7.
Yeah. And black's pieces are going to be forever coming into play. He's gone bishop d7, yeah? Trying to improve the rook. So what happens with your idea after rook f1? You're just threatening to pick up the pawn.
Yeah, just take this. That's the plan.
Wow, Anish is going to have a tough time defending this one once the f6 pawn falls. It looks like he's going to give this pawn away, yeah?
Yeah.
By the way, what did Amrita give you for your birthday?
I'll show you. Oh, by the way, I have to show you this also. Did you see the clips channel that I have?
I mean, are you sure you can show it? It's sort of like an under 18 kid stream.
ये दिख रहा है? वो
Was that your birthday gift?
Cake दिख रहा है? Cake.
Huh?
वो cake is like full chess set, chess board with ChessBase India clips और सब ऐसा, and it was sent by Abhyudaya and Nidhi who are on ChessBase India. So they sent this. So it was very nice. First this. Then Amruta gave me a trimmer. And she's like कि तेरा जब दाढ़ी बढ़ जाता है तो either you clean shave it. So now I want. So she gave me stuff whereby she's giving all these subtle messages what she wants in life. You know, like
she wants you to change your look.
So वो एक gift था and दूसरा था she gave me.
What? Why are you laughing?
Handkerchiefs and
a trimmer and a handkerchief. I wonder what you could use this for.
Tanya is so positive, you know. She's like, yeah, handkerchief, you know. But handkerchief में वो भी उसकी भी बोलती बन.
No, I'm not positive. I'll say it as it is. But my point is कि I'm just wondering कि what could you do with a trimmer and a handkerchief? Like it's such a specific birthday gift. And I really want to ask Amrita right now, like if she's watching or if she's around, how's she feeling, by the way?
She's much better. And I had asked her to join for some time. So maybe I'll see if she can join. But do you have any message for her?
Yeah, I want to know what she had in mind when she gave you these things. I really want to.
और एक चीज उसने दिया. She gave me, see, we have a treadmill here. If you see here, ये हमारा treadmill है. पता है? ये दिख रहा है? ओह, गिर रहा है.
Dude, I really like your colorful walls. They're so, bright and happy and very cool.
You know, the reason why we made it was for that reason only, कि life should be colorful.
Yeah.
So वो जो था उसमें चलते हैं हम every day, like walk. But then cycle भी कर लिया अभी से. So she got a cycle where you can, that stationary cycle. But उसमें rust आ गया है already. So वो वापस
क्योंकि use नहीं हुआ क्या?
नहीं वही, they gave a defective piece, so we're sending it back.
not because you weren't using it.
No, today only it came.
Just lying there. उसके वजह से.
नहीं आज ही आया.
अच्छा आज ही आया क्या?
तो इसके लिए इतने गिफ्ट हो गए अभी.
So she's given you she got the treadmill for you, yeah, the cycle.
हाँ लाया.
So I wonder what is the message she's trying to give.
She's just saying that I don't like the way you look.
क्या मोटा हो गया है, पतला हो यार.
दाढ़ी नहीं पसंद.
हटा यार.
Just make yourself presentable, man, please, by 33rd birthday.
Like this year, this is what you have to do.
Yeah, and then she gave.
और फिर जब while you're doing that, जो तेरे आंसू गिरेंगे उसके लिए she's giving you the hanky. I have decoded her entire gifting point saga on this stream. It's been a journey of the gifts.
Yeah, exactly. And then she said she'll give me a chair, like sitting, a gaming chair, but that I will go and buy.
Okay.
तो ये हो गया अभी बर्थडे का. तो तानिया ये बढ़िया गेम हमने देख लिया. अनीश बहुत टेंशन में है अभी ये.
Hey, look at the live board. It's what we were thinking about.
Same.
We played rook b1.
Oh, same हुआ. Should I make it on our big board?
Let's go to Vidit's game.
So Vidit went here, knight e2, which we saw. Then he went here. Then he took the pawn. Then Magnus attacked this. Then we played b6 or c5. Hi Magnus, same stuff. And rook f8 has been played.
Magnus playing like Sagar.
नहीं, इधर तो मैं तो सिर्फ बेस्ट मूव्स दिख के बोल रहा हूँ यार तानिया. But he's
Okay,
playing
so what's
like
going on?
engine. He's playing the best moves. But I think just take back, no? Like you can't take on b6 again with Magnus because then knight d5 check and फिर ये मर जाएगा रुक.
You know, I'm just looking at the pawn structure. I feel whenever I'm playing, that's the one way these positions I evaluate. And looking at the pawn islands and the pawn structure, it's quite a basic thing we learned growing up, right? But I think it's so useful. And we see after c takes b6, if black is not losing the pawn immediately, white has got 3 pawn islands, right? While black has only 2. So why should black be worse here? Rook c8 is coming in, attacking the c2 pawn.
Correct. So let's say, I can't move my king, right?
I mean, it depends where you can move it, but is it good to move it is a whole different
But
question.
this hangs, and if I go here, then another check here. तो कहाँ जाए?
जाए तो जाए कहाँ?
भाई तानिया तुम क्या सिंगिंग मोड में हो यार आज?
हाँ ना यार.
हाँ आज तो गाइस तुम लोग अगर तानिया की स्ट्रीम पे जाओगे आज रात को, which you have to, you should make her sing after every game.
मेरी वाट लगेगी ना आज की स्ट्रीम पे. एक समय कुछ याद नहीं है ओबीएस का, ऊपर से डीरा के साथ खेल रही हूँ.
Make her sing after every game she wins.
She's the queen of trash talking. She's going to like destroy my mental health today on the stream.
तुम ऐसे सब लोगों को क्यों बुलाते हो जो इतने मेंटली स्ट्रांग है? मेरे जैसे लोगों को बुलाओ ना जो ऐसे ही मतलब मेंटली.
फिर हम दोनों एक दूसरे को ऐसे करेंगे कि नो यू आर द बेस्ट, यू आर द बेस्ट, यू आर द बेस्ट. वो फिर चैलेंज हो जाता है ना. फिर उन लोगों को बुला के फिर ऐसे if you can win against them then it's that much sweeter.
Tanya, what time is it? Because you also have to get ready for your stream, so.
What? Do I look like I need to get ready?
नहीं ऐसे नहीं, मतलब OBS अरे यार. मतलब I had told you ना कि थोड़ी देर के लिए आना, so I don't want you to get overstressed. तो तुम जब भी when you are comfortable, you let me know. I am very happy that you are here. So मतलब मेरे को तो टेंशन यही आता है कि सामने वाले लोग.
ठीक है, मेरे को मजे आ रहे हैं.
हाँ बढ़िया, तो ठीक है. तो C4 खेला गया.
मैं शायद अपनी स्ट्रीम ऐसे 11:30-12 बजे करूँ.
हाँ बढ़िया बढ़िया.
मतलब अगर तो लगे मुझे 2-2.5 घंटे लगेंगे तैयार होने में तो वो अलग बात है.
नहीं तुमको जरूरत नहीं है, बट वही.
Sagar is trying to save himself now. Okay, so C4 played.
So C4 के साथ मैग्नस इज सेइंग कि अगर ये पॉन से हम बात करें तो ये पॉन का जो एम था इन लाइफ टू मूव अहेड हैज बीन स्टाइफल्ड. B6 पॉन. हाँ. He was like कि मैं बड़ा होके B5 पे जाऊंगा, तो then these two pawns are like भाई बेटा नहीं, B6 पे ही तू रहेगा.
Yeah. True. Now my one question that comes to my mind is that there's a discovered check, but is there a good discovered check?
I really want to go from here to here. I want to put my knight there, but there it will hang. So ऐसे A5 move करके ऐसे, you know, can we do that?
Do you have time? That's the question, right? I'm just wondering, can we see one interesting option? It's probably bad, but I want to see it anyway, Sagar. Your idea, right? Because I think agar knight b4 pe aa gaya, then your b6 weakness is taken care of. So if you go knight d3 immediately, there's king e3 and you don't have time.
This
so
is
I like this.
Bad. This is very bad,
right?
Okay, you can go knight e5, but then king comes even further, right?
You're just giving tempo after tempo then, and you know, sort of inviting white's king to your own party. So let's say that you go a5 here. I want to check that move because it looks interesting, and I'm wondering if white can actually sacrifice this g2 pawn with a move like king e3.
Oh, you are like ki, let's get if he takes here.
I just want to go on a king march.
And now you are going king d4.
देखो डर तो लगेगा ना थोड़ा अगर मैंने ऐसे तेरे साथ खेला तो.
हाँ मतलब मैग्नस खेलेगा तो और भी डर लगेगा.
मैंने अपना नाम लिया क्योंकि मुझे लगता नहीं है हम दोनों कभी मैग्नस के साथ खेलने वाले हैं भाई.
एक गेम तो खेलेंगे कभी जिंदगी में. तो you might have played some friendly game, no?
हाँ मतलब फ्रेंडली तो ऑफ कोर्स ब्लिट्स एंड ऑल तो ऐसे फ्रेंडली, बट ऐसे टूर्नामेंट में कहाँ ही खेल पाएंगे ना. मे बी अगर इफ यू गो फॉर वर्ल्ड रैपिड.
भाई ब्लिट्स एंड ऑल ऑफ कोर्स एंड ऑल नहीं हुआ है हमारे लाइफ में किसी के भी साथ यहाँ पे. So subtle flex up blitz and all of course.
क्या बात कर रहे हो यार, वो स्ट्रीम पे भी तो आके खेला हुआ है उसने. कुछ subtle flex क्या है उसमें?
अच्छा flex है.
हाँ.
So in a way, but yeah, this is a great idea, getting your king in the center,
I kind of like it, right?
and then you want to take this. So now if I go like rook d8 check,
कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा.
और आगे होगी.
नहीं यार, 93 से थोड़ा डर लग रहा है उसके बाद.
यही तो अपना प्रॉब्लम है कि थोड़ा आगे आते ही डर लग जाता है.
ऐसे पहले तो we are like we're gonna brew the chai, we're gonna brew the crap out of the chai, फिर eventually वो explode ही हो जाता है ऊपर से.
फिर थोड़ा ऊपर आता है, अरे भाई बंद करते हैं नहीं तो वेस्ट हो जाएगा.
चाय पत्ती वेस्ट हो जाएगी.
तो ठीक है. So then if you go king e5, then 93 maybe is a.
Okay,
Oh.
something I just saw the engine bar going no ways. What about 96? Is 96
exactly,
the move?
you're right. This, and now it's trouble for.
So at least it's an interesting idea, no?
Very,
Maybe that's what
very.
Magnus wants to do. He wants to try and sacrifice this pawn, activate his king, and create a passer.
Yeah, seems like it. So if you go a5, now he will come in like this. And that is what Tanya wants to do. Also, another idea Tanya could be कि ये ऐसे दरवाजा है, ठीक है? This is a door closing the rook. तो rook कहता है भाई दरवाजा यहाँ पे है तो हम दरवाजे के अंदर आके बैठते हैं. So now you can't close, even if you close the door, I am sitting inside it. So then, you know,
It's like you're already inside the room.
Exactly. So there is a space between two rooms and I'm there.
Are you like under the door and the floor के बीच वाली जगह? Is that where you are?
Yes, it's like a mezzanine floor रहता है ना. Like in my college there was this floor 1, floor 2, and library was on mezzanine floor. I was like, how? Like क्या है ये? So it's like in between. So the rook is right now doesn't know what to do.
No, I like this in between situation that the rook is in, because now there is no door closing situation.
I like how you are so like. I like how Tanya takes my analogy so seriously and makes.
What, are you joking? Aren't these like serious analogies and life lessons? I तो find them super amazing. I find them really fun. I'm actually thinking, पता है मेरे mind में क्या चल रहा था कि is he between the floor and the door की जगह, और you know that जगह होती है जब जैसे door बंद किया between the wall and the door.
I think you should remove all these things and say like, खाने पे जाओ. So if it's a sandwich, then this is like the two breads and it is between that filling, you know, like वड़ा पाव के अंदर जो वड़ा रहता है.
Oh, so it's like अगर अंडे का sandwich है.
That I have not eaten much.
ओ हाँ, तू वेजिटेरियन है. चल ठीक है, जीरे आलू का सैंडविच है, ठीक है. तो अगर एक ब्रेड है, before the second bread comes on top and closes the sandwich, you quickly put the jeera aloo in the middle.
It's important.
It's important. Otherwise, the sandwich is quite bad.
Yeah, otherwise you can eat it like pav and on the side, like you can eat the aloo after it, but then the taste nahi. So right now, this is important to get it here. I
like rook b5, but I also really like the king e3 idea.
But you know, one of our...
especially because it's not my game, I'm like, pawn de do, let's just make it fun.
Bhanu Ramanand says, कि भाई तुम लोग वहाँ पे all this you are making, what about I take this pawn here, free pawn?
You know, I think, you mean after a5, rook b5, or in the current position?
Any position, that pawn is always hanging ना, मतलब कोई उसका कुछ पड़ा है कि नहीं? Like c4 के बाद भी, isn't this pawn hanging?
You know, this pawn, it is hanging, but I think the point is that why he doesn't care is because White's idea is simple. He wants to get the king to the center. And he's saying, as many tempos as I get, your knight goes far away. I don't care, because now you have to spend one more move coming back with the knight, which gives White enough time to create this c-passed pawn.
So if this, so basically h3 was not so important. Now b6 goes and this is super strong.
Yeah. It's like कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है.
Correct. So Tanya, after c4, Vidit ने ये check दिया.
So you know, he's taken away the e3 square.
Very smart. Very smart.
I have an interesting idea, but maybe it's not working. Can we check one line?
Magnus played king e2.
And now I wanted to see if white can go, if black can go rook d8, rook e8 here.
Acha, rook e8.
But maybe the bar will just, the bar disagrees.
Because maybe of this take.
Yeah. King d3.
But ये मर रहा है.
But the d pawn is super strong.
Oh, take.
Now I think maybe you just go d6 directly. You don't even need to take.
ये भी नहीं
pawn.
मारोगे. And you will push. And if he goes
But
king
king
f7, तो chat क्या खेलोगे यहाँ पे? बढ़िया मूव.
बढ़िया मूव है क्या
बढ़िया
यहाँ पे?
मूव, बढ़िया मूव.
क्या बात कर रहा है?
हाँ, बहुत बढ़िया मूव. Oh, by the
Oh,
way.
I see it. I see it. I see it.
ये मतलब thematic move.
Yeah. It's like chat, what is black's idea? And you have to stop it, right? Is it that move?
Prophylaxis, yes.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yes. I mean, after we discussed about all this vada pav and sandwich, now we have like very good understanding of what you are thinking and so on.
Yeah. By the way, crazy stuff on Anish's board as well. We'll go there soon.
Oh, Rook E1. Brilliant, guys. Vandan Patel, Faz, Naz, Pratik Bhatt, Disha, Nikhil, Pranav, Senthil. Well done, guys. Rook E1. Classy, na?
Super nice. So black wants to get the king close to the white's pawn to defend it from queening, and you just cut it off. You just say no.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
say, this door I'm going to shut on your face, bro.
It's like, मेरे को photography करना है and like नहीं, engineering पढ़ो.
Basically, it's like every Indian family is what Sagar is saying.
It's just like Three Idiots ka story, but Rook E1. And this is what Magnus is looking for. So here Vidit goes knight d5. Now Magnus goes king e2 and he asks Vidit, what's your plan? Because if you move the knight, b6 is hanging.
His plan is knight f6.
Oh. This is great, yeah. Because
I mean, I can't think of any other move for black.
But Tanya, slowly what I get a sense of what is happening is that this king is doing a little more job than this king here.
That's the only thing that white is relying on, right? That he's got piece activity right now. I mean, imagine agar black ka king comes to e6.
Then it's all equal.
But right now there are some issues to be solved. The b6 pawn. After knight f6, actually, what are you playing? Are you playing knight d6?
I can't take it, yeah. Like this rook endgame should be complete. Or do you think like thoda advantage hai? Like I can get my king.
This looks too close to a draw.
Yeah, even black is getting his king in slowly, so that doesn't look good. So we keep the knight. What about knight c3?
What about it?
मतलब अब मेरा knight अच्छा है ना, like b6 is hanging.
Maybe rook e8, rook e6 after. Or rook e8 check, where do you go?
Rook e8, maybe king d3. Maybe Auric check, then king e3.
Yeah,
then Auric check, then king d4. That would be bad.
You're like laddering your way up while I'm just wasting my time.
Exactly.
Vidit is thinking after king e2. Oh, okay. What happens after knight f4? Then do you go... Is there a difference in that line? Knight f4, king e3, knight g2, king d4. Because a5 is not played.
You mean here?
First position.
Knight f4, you mean here. But now king f3 also, no?
Knight d5. Draw?
Correct. ठीक है, तो मैं यहाँ पे king e3, I have to take a risk. ले लो. And now I go here. This is what you had only suggested.
But the pawn is not on a5, and I'm wondering if it makes any like rook d8 check. King e5.
King e5, you might give this check again, right?
Yeah, then king, yeah. Okay.
And then if we go here, then knight e3 or knight f4. So let's go to c3.
Okay, but this is sort of, I don't know.
Rook e8, knight d6. पता है मतलब ऐसा नहीं फीलिंग आ रहा है कि somewhere Vidit is under pressure and Magnus is pushing.
But this is what you were saying, no? Magnus will find some way. Say,
oh my God! Rook
e8. What? But we didn't like that move, right?
No, not at all. And that
and
was,
the bar also.
Magnus is like hit. मुझे तो लगता है Magnus रुका ही था. Vidit goes rook e8 and he just snaps the pawn. And now Vidit takes on e4. I mean, snaps the knight. Rook e4. But this we spoke, yeah. This is not a good idea. Like king d3. Maybe Vidit thought that he can be okay by taking this pawn. Matlab, we saw that it's uncomfortable, but we hadn't analyzed it to the depth ki losing hai ya nahi.
No, but the thing is, even if it's not losing, it's actually some serious problems. As even chat pointed out, Rookie one, that idea of stopping Black's king from coming into play. This is, I wonder, I think Vidit was obviously, he calculated the lines with keeping the knight and didn't like something there. But this actually looks directly dangerous with the D pawn and the B6 pawn hanging, no?
Matlab, you know what Vidit might have thought, I think? He might have thought he'll take the pawn and that Magnus will now take on b6 and this will give him the time to go king f7 and bring his king into the game. But what Magnus will do is he will not be greedy, he will not take this pawn, he will push and he's threatening to queen. And then if you go here, then this move.
Yeah, this is the position that we had, right? When we were looking
I think
at
this will happen, Tanya. And the question is whether these two pawns make any sense. How should Black actually make a comeback? Sorry, how should Black make a comeback of it? Because the threat is d7, d8, queen.
And if you go rook a5, king d... Okay, rook a5, king where?
King d4.
Rook a2?
Ah, तुम पीछे से आ रहे हो. King d5.
Check. King c6. Oh, okay, this is maybe interesting.
Check.
Check king c6.
b5. Let's try. No, like what is the plan?
d7.
d7. You push now. I have to give a check because your threat is rook e8 and d8 queen. So check.
King b7.
And then I attack you again.
Okay, let's go. King c7, rook c2.
Check.
I have to go to d8 to hide, yeah.
बट एक बार हाइड हो गए तो तुम्हारा पॉन कैसे आगे बढ़ेगा? मैं तो अपना आगे बढ़ाऊंगा. b4.
Check.
Check here. King has to move because if I go to e6, you will go to e8 and then queen. So I'll go here.
Yeah, not clear. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back.
This looks defendable, right?
Yeah, this idea is nice that you try and create your own. So you played rook a5. Let's go to rook a5.
Here.
Yeah. So rook a5.
King d4 was forced, no? Like what?
Is it? Else? Can I go one second? Can white be tricky?
And?
One second. Chat, help me, yeah. Because although now I see the bar, it says black is fine after rook a5. Huh?
But it keeps switching, yeah? Like if I do king d4, suddenly it will show advantage. So I don't trust this bar in this endgame somehow.
Okay.
But
got it.
It seems like that this variation which we discussed, Tanya, like king d4 and very nice move which you spotted instantly, rook a2. You know, coming back from here. This seems like the critical line for sure. Like check, king c6 and b5. अगर कुछ है तो यहाँ है.
If I start with rook e7 here.
हाँ मतलब what is the point? Yeah.
By the way, we might be headed here.
Oh, उसने मार दिया. Vidit has taken the pawn, and I think
has taken it.
Very smart decision, yeah, by Vidit, because if you don't take it, you will have all the bad ingredients of a endgame plus a pawn. You will be pawn equal. Right now, you at least be pawn up.
I mean, the thing is, right, if you say A, you have to say B in these kind of position. Agar he's gone for this knight trade, then he's calculated this line and he feels he's saving it after rook a4.
Yeah.
You can't just keep that pawn alive and give the b6 pawn for free.
Correct. And now I think, what do you think, Tanya? Will Magnus find d6 or will he take here and just the game will end after king f7 draw?
I don't think the question is, will he find it? The question is... The question is, which one will he feel is better?
It is clear as per the engines that d6 is superior to rook b6.
Oh, rook b6, what is the engine giving?
It's a draw after king f7.
Okay.
So,
and that makes sense, you know, because after rook b6, king f7, you're just getting your king closer to the pawn. And for example, rook e6, you can't push your pawn. You still have to waste a lot of time. And probably black can just go rook a1 in that position.
Yeah.
Why is it that I say black can just do that on the end? Okay, the end.
No,
can
it's
say
fine.
that.
It's fine. Or I mean, you can even keep your rook here so that his king is cut off like this
Even
way,
better.
and then a5. So I think this is a draw. So now, I mean, the only reason why I think that will Magnus find it or not is because I think he will find it. I mean, there's no other.
I mean, he'll find it. The question is it staving for black or not? And we have to look at this line. So we're expecting Magnus to go d6 here because rook b6 just poses less problems to
Yeah,
black.
yeah. D6.
King
And
f7
is
feels
there
like-
any other move apart from king f7? I think एक move तो कर ही लेते हैं king f7, right? Like you get your king, and if he doesn't cut you off, then it's a draw. Like if I get a king here, it's a draw. So you have to cut me off.
By the way, I also have my eye on the other boards. And in Pragg, Fabi's board, it's very similar to what we were discussing. Basically, I think Fabi's still a lot better because of that a4 pass pawn.
Ooh.
I mean, it just feels like an extra pawn in the position, even though mathematically it's not. It's like just a free pawn, practically.
And you know, Tanya Capablanca used to say knight queen better than knight queen bishop. So here that advantage also black has.
Yeah, although I have to say, if we just remove this a pawn and the e pawn, then that won't be the case.
True.
You know, then the whole dynamic changes a lot. But the problem is, look at the dark square bishop, and Fabi has very rightly traded off the light squared bishops. That was the strong bishop in Prague's position, remember?
So he took, he gave a rook trade, and then he played knight c3. Oh, I think this move, oh my god. ये जो यहाँ पर when he played knight c3, Fabi was like take, bishop takes.
Oh, I see.
Because
Oh,
if
wait,
you
let's ask chat.
if you take with the queen, there is a mate here, guys. So इसके लिए bishop से मारा, and now black to move.
Very nice move. Very like positionally very strong.
And Magnus goes d6. Tanya.
Yeah.
खेल लिया
Magnus
यार
has-
मैग्नस ने.
बुरा नहीं खेलता.
हाँ यार मतलब
ठीक ठाक है.
ठीक है, अच्छा तो है. King f7 played by Vidit.
Rookie one will be on the board or not?
Rookie won by Magnus.
Oh my god!
So
In chat में also so many people guessed rookie one, no?
yeah, absolutely. By the way, bishop e4 also. Swastik Sahu, Mohit Kumar Jha, Anshul Nanwani, Sagnik Gupta, Deval Savla, Lim Kian Guan. Fantastic, guys. Bishop e4, and now if you take here, it's a mate. So यही मतलब by tactical means, Fabi has got what he wanted, and I think Tanya, this is lost for Pragg.
Yeah.
Because queen will maybe go behind here, then he'll push, then he'll slowly bring his knight into the game. So Fabi will win. Anish का game एक बार देख ले, फिर then we go to Vidit.
Yes, let's do it.
Oof.
क्या
Ooh.
हुआ?
Look
Damn,
at this. He's just lost all his material advantage now, and he's actually materially down. He's pawned down. Plus position is gone.
You know, I have to say that exchange sacrifice is a total masterpiece.
Epic
that
game.
He's
Jorden.
epic game. I mean, it's that positional sacrifice just binding down black's pieces completely. And then Jorden, I mean, this is a very good game. Very instructive stuff.
By the way,
Okay, so why is black's
Tanya.
position so bad? Yeah.
ये वाला हाँ मतलब
Oh, damn, dude.
Should we go there?
A5 King D4 on the
हाँ,
board.
चलो,
Chat,
चलो,
ये
चलो.
हो क्या रहा है?
it's like whatever we thought has happened. But Tanya, you remember you were saying ki no you not here. King d4 was the move.
King D4 you have to play to stop rook D5.
And
so
now
this is-
Vidit has only moved rook a2. By the way, 33 moves have been completed. 7 more moves to go, and he plays rook a2.
Dude, we were looking at this. So the point is, if D7, there's rook D2 check.
Correct. So that is a
And-
blunder.
And why is your bar going all crazy on this?
You know, people in the chat, there is this engine called Seth. Oh, King d5. Matlab, I don't know, it's a blunder. I'm not checking the bar. But I'm saying that rook e7 ek move tha, Tanya. You remember you were saying, ki, shall we go rook e7 here?
It was the only other move besides King D5, right?
Yeah. But he's gone King d5 here.
Was rook E7 the move there?
No, here it's still not clear. I think it's still winning. And people in the chat said they've checked that supercomputer Sese karke kuch to hai, which gives completely winning for Magnus. it goes like super deep very quickly at depth of 50 or something, and it's showing that white is winning.
Did you know, fun fact, Sese, the computer, like the headquarters of it is somewhere in Norway.
Correct.
It's a Norwegian developer
Correct.
who actually like made it.
I knew, but I mean, Tanya, we just, whatever line we saw, ऐसे ही मतलब has complete
Feeling
same.
good about my chances in tonight's battle.
But now is the question, what do? Do you push your pawn? Does Vidit have a draw here? Because Vidit is also playing very fast and confidently, yeah?
He's calculated the whole thing. He's calculated this. The thing is, it's so forced that clearly when he traded the knights, Vidit calculated it till this point, and he feels that this is holdable for black.
उसको लग रहा है,
like
but
you're saying, chat is saying that Sese has other plans.
Sese is saying +7 at depth of 71. ये Sese ऐसे पूरा, you know, it sucks out our enthusiasm because we are like क्या हो रहा है, and you're like +7 है भाई, तुम बैठ जाओ, बैठ जाओ.
Who do you think will win? Like, do you think, you know how we had Gary versus Deep Blue? What do you think if there was a Magnus versus Sese?
I think even Magnus versus some normal, don't need Sese, right? Just a normal engine would be
Today's
like
engine, right?
3600 ELO or 3500. So it's not even a competition, but you can give odds. Like you can take away a couple of pawns, then maybe interesting. Like remove F7. I remember there was this match with Nakamura and Komodo, which they played, where Nakamura got like pawn odds, F7 was removed or something like that. I guess it was not easy for him still.
I didn't follow that match, but yeah, it's true that the engines today are so strong compared to earlier that it would be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
To imagine surviving that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so B5 on the board. What is he going to play? Why does Sese love Magnus so much?
So
क्या हुआ?
हाँ ठीक है, मतलब Magnus is position ना. हाँ
I mean, yeah. आपको क्या लगा?
मतलब Magnus so much, मतलब every time Magnus को हाँ got it. अच्छा तो तानिया यही सवाल है, would you push your pawn now or would you go rook e7 check? Like चलो मैं
I feel like I'm always asked these really tough questions.
मतलब मेरे को हाँ मतलब चलो.
But I feel I liked your line on D7.
चलो D7
checking me.
हाँ मैं check देता हूँ, आप यहाँ जाओ, ठीक है, मैं फिर से यहाँ आता हूँ, फिर तुम यहाँ गई, फिर मैं check दिया, फिर then you hid under the pawn, and then I was like I'll push, and I think this is a draw, Tanya.
Yeah, and your pawns are suddenly like super advanced, and I am going to take a while to actually do anything. I don't even see how I can improve my D7 pawn, so I don't like this line anymore. I want to go for rook e7 check.
So that is where you see now Magnus is thinking. He has 5 more moves to make in 17 minutes. Vidit has 5 more moves, only 5 minutes. So check diya, ठीक है.
Hey Sagar, you're doing those endgame deep dives. No, you can actually do this position, do these.
Magnus ने D7 खेला.
क्या बात कर रहा है?
He plays D7 and I think
Magnus is the next guest on Endgame Deep Dive.
Not sure ये winning है या नहीं, तानिया क्या लग रहा है? मेरे को तो draw लग रहा है.
बताएगी ना assassin ने क्या बोला?
Magnus blunder.
Blunder क्या?
0.00. Oh my God! Vidit has just made a comeback.
Wow.
Wow. Sese suddenly does not love Magnus.
So Sese does not love Magnus anymore. Sese ने कहा ऐसी move चलोगे तो I'll leave you. It's like that. It's like, you know, sometimes how in a relationship it's like अब तुम्हारा कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Now I'm leaving you. हाँ,
correct.
You know what I mean, right? Those circumstances. So Magnus has just played D7 and Sese is broken up with Magnus now.
तो ये तो विदित तो check और फटाफट खेल रहा है यार.
Yeah, but check was the only move also, na? Because why it was the only move, let's point that out, because एक बार rook e8 आ गया, then you can't stop queening. Yeah, if here you play like b4, then rook e8 and white is just queening, so that is over. So he had to give a check, and then he goes king b6, then he went here. Now Magnus came king c7. So the simple theme in this is that you have to keep pushing the king away. or force the king to come to d8 so that it's blocking its own pawn from queening.
Correct.
Otherwise, white has time to go rook e8. So you have to
आ गया king आ गया d8
आ गया भाई, but अब कुछ होने नहीं वाला
b4 करते हैं, b4 ना, यही तो अपन देख रहे थे.
हाँ ना.
And the thing is, Tanya, the main point here is that if you do like b4 and I give you a check from here, then you have to go f8. You can't go here.
And why? Because if you go king f6, then king e8 and it queens.
Absolutely.
So, but king f8 is perfect because you take the squares from white's king, and after check, you'll go back king f7. You won't go, you can't even go anywhere else. But the point is, you just maintain this position. So white has to give the check from the f file to drive the king away.
But f file से check दिया जैसे यहाँ पर, तो then the problem is that the e file is now no longer controlled by the rook. So the moment you come out, I'll again give you a check.
I mean, Sagar, you're an expert in these Lucina kind of positions. So if you say it's a draw, I'm just going to take your word for this. Because that's clearly like...
Yeah. You know, the thing is that there used to be great experts in the past, like Akiba Rubinstein, who was the rook endgame master. Then you had Capablanca, who was very good with his knight bishop endgames. Then Karpo, who was very good at opposite color bishop endgames. But now what has happened is, because specialization has come in, now there are no more rook endgame experts. Now there are Lucina experts like me. Then Philid, specific wala. So, जैसे pawn endgame maybe then there will be triangulation experts or rule of square experts. तो तुम्हारा कोई है ऐसा expertise?
मेरा है how to lose a draw position expert हूँ मैं. If you want to study that, then you can look at my games.
हाँ, ये अच्छा टॉपिक है.
I'm telling you, dude, it's a real problem in chess. ऐसे जब तुम पढ़ाई करो and when you're training for it, you can just solve everything. When you're looking at other boards, you're like suggesting move after move. फिर खुद की गेम में ऐसे dead draw position हार के आ जाते हो.
हाँ.
So what do you call that expert? It's called a noob.
हाँ, बोल सकते हैं, बट मतलब इतना भी ब्रूटल होने की जरूरत नहीं है तान्या. मतलब थोड़ा दुख हो रहा है मुझे अब. बट तान्या,
हाँ, तो ऐसे awkward ही हो गया. मैं मजाक कर रही थी.
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं. सो तान्या, मेरा क्वेश्चन है, किंग f8 को क्या करोगी?
वापस आ जाओ रुक को लेके.
एंड देन आई गो रुक f7 एंड मेरा प्लान है किंग e8 एंड देन क्वीन, ऐसा.
So do I have time to push my pawn? B3?
अच्छा, तुम तो पुश ही कर रही हो. किंग e8,
B2.
हाँ, and I can't even
कौन
queen
जीतेगा ये?
क्योंकि तुम मार दोगी. I think I have to go back, and that is a failed expedition, right? So
okay,
here,
because at least I have a check, right?
Yeah. अच्छा, तो Tanya, this looks like a draw now. And I'm very surprised that Magnus actually, with around 17 minutes on his clock, has misplayed it. मतलब ये position में, instead of going d7, rook e7 was winning. But how? Can we just analyze that?
I think the point is that if you go king f6, if you put the king up, then white wants to go rook e8. You remember these ideas we were seeing? I'm not sure if you play rook e8, and maybe the engine bar will completely disagree with me. I'm not sure, but I think rook e8 should be the move.
Check.
No, it's not.
And then, yeah, it will again give this check stuff.
So then what's the point?
Man, here the move is crazy. मतलब मुझे भी नहीं समझ में. मैं तो समझ, मेरे को move भी दिख रहा है पर समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्यों ये है.
Okay, if it's crazy, then it has to be. Is it rook c7?
Oh man, Tanya, it's unbelievable. You know why?
What?
मतलब तुम सोचो, जब चेक देते हैं तो हम ऐसे जाते हैं, then it goes back, then we go king c7, then he gives a check, then we go king d8, and when the king comes up, you push the pawn, right?
Okay.
So ये move stopping that.
This is impossible.
Oh man,
this is just crazy.
This is just,
I mean, this is of course even for Magnus, it's just very tough to do this.
Even to think. And by the way, Vidit in the live position has pushed his pawn to b4, guys, which was the best move.
Isn't this what we were seeing? This is what we had on our board, right?
Yes.
With b4, and now the question is, how is Magnus improving? I mean, he can give checks and just bail out on this position, but there's probably nothing more.
हाँ but ये rook e4 का idea, just to finish this, check, king here, rook d2, king here, correct, check, and then I go king d8, and all of a sudden you can't push b4, so you decide to go a5, but then d7, then b4,
King
and
e8.
अरे king e8 आ रहा है तो ये तो नहीं चलेगा.
You have to go king f7 here.
हाँ तो king f7 गए अगर तो rook f4, king g6.
Oh, king e... No. Is it rook f8?
Rook d4. I think that
Okay,
one
that's right.
tempo is going to
D4.
matter. King, अच्छा ये तो यहाँ वापस आ रहा है.
No, why do you not go rook f8 in that position instead?
Here,
Yes.
but then b4.
King e7. Are we too slow?
Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, this looks great, Tanya. And then here,
Thank you.
here,
King d6.
I take this pawn. At least take pawn. You queen.
I feel like this should be winning.
King here. Yeah, king e5. कहीं पे भी. And then this, I think white is in time, yeah, for this endgame.
It's a bit scary and it looks like black has too many pawns, but it should be in time.
So that's the reason why, even though it was totally winning, the main point was to slow down these pawns from advancing. So ये rook e4 move, but in
Pawn
the
ढूंढेगा rook e4, yeah. It was damn tough.
exactly
It's like that move, you know, from yesterday, day before yesterday's game in Nils versus Daniel, where he went knight h8 in the end.
हाँ.
Okay, there it's like easier to find it, of course, because you know, but it's also a difficult move.
Beautiful,
to make,
yeah,
but I
उसने
thought it was a
ढूंढ लिया.
beautiful move. Yeah. Like these retreating moves are super hard.
Correct. So up,
Wow, so okay, looks like Vidit is going to draw today, no?
oh man, that's a big result, because
I mean, he's had a really great tournament.
and also like you were very close to being under pressure, and now b4. Is there any way that white can try now? I don't think so.
Is chat saying that Sese is saying that it's equal?
I don't know. Guys, what do you think like this? And by the way, Anish resigned his game.
Wow, that's quite a masterpiece by Jorden.
I think somewhere, no, Tanya, Magnus would have just strolled around and he would have seen Anish is losing. So he has a half-point lead and now he will draw today. So or it will get increased to 1 point, and then he already has one more point he's going to get from Daniel Dubov because he's tested positive and he's not going to continue playing. So then it means that he has only one more round left. So Magnus जीत गया tournament.
Who's he playing? And I think he plays. Yeah, I think you're right. But you know, knowing him also, we all know this about him, that if he feels there's a real chance in the position, he would have taken it.
I know.
I think in this, it's not कि he's saying कि चलो अब draw कर लेते हैं चलेगा. I think he genuinely was not able to figure out or see the thing or the difference in this line with rook e4, and he's gone for what he believes is his best chance in the position.
Yes.
And it's very easy to sort of sit with computers or with engines and say कि he missed an opportunity, but over the board, it's just a different story completely.
Very difficult to find. But अब ऐसे हो गया ना, Tanya, that with this b4 move, black's pawn suddenly, like, you know, ऐसा friendship दिख रहा है दोनों में, ऐसे like, you know,
मेरे को तो लग रहा है अलग हो गए हैं बेचारे, पहले तो ऐसे क्लोज थे एकदम.
हाँ, लेकिन ये मतलब this guy said कि जा तू जी ले अपनी जिंदगी.
हाँ, ये तो मुझे ऐसे वो parent और child का लग रहा है, where the parent is this a6 pawn and it's supporting this b4 pawn and saying, you know, go and do what you have to do in this world out there and I'll just stay behind.
हाँ, पर मतलब वो अच्छा है ना एक तरह से, like ऐसा मोटिवेशन. हाँ, और ये रुक का क्या रोल है वैसे?
ये रुक का क्या रोल है?
Rook is the earning member of the family, like who's helping. Maybe
Rook
to
is like that दूर का रिश्तेदार जो बहुत ही ऐसे सक्सेसफुल ऑलरेडी बैठा हुआ है, कह रहा है कि हाँ भाई मैंने कर दिया अपना काम, अब तुम्हारी बारी है.
to explain कि Rook का क्या रोल है. We have the other expert here.
Here we have some expert advice needed, right?
Yeah, even though the real commentator in the house now.
Even though the engine is saying it's equal, it's actually not. Black is much better here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that the engine or your heart saying?
No, it's calculation. It's like, you know, you can't stop those 2 pawns.
So Samay, the question is, Tanya was saying कि ये position में B4 is like the little kid, A6 is like the parent. He's saying like जी ले अपनी जिंदगी जाके pawn. And the rook here, आपके हिसाब से who is the rook?
Rook is like all education and basic qualifications. कि इतना अगर कर लिया यहाँ तक फिर तो भाई कोई रोक नहीं है भाई. So to reach there basically and then the kid can grow up.
मतलब वो printing engineering है वो.
वो printing engineer नहीं है भाई.
कुछ भी printing engineering नहीं है. But
Printing engineer is like the knight in this position.
It doesn't exist.
So कोई है नहीं है कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा. It's not there. But yeah, so far we have very less time for Vidit क्या?
No, it's last move before time control. So I think one move है सिर्फ. But Samay, everyone's saying that Vidit अच्छा चल रहा था, but अब समय आ गया तो we don't know what.
क्या beat हुई यार.
डर गए
ऐसा
क्या
नहीं
सब
यार.
chat में?
ऐसा ना करो यार प्लीज. मेरा भाई है वो यार. ऐसे नहीं यार.
नहीं मजाक कर रहे.
Sarah, what do you think happens, dude? Every time, I mean, it's happened way too many
Don't make it a
times.
thing यार. If it's not a thing, it'll become a thing यार.
तू उसके लाइफ में आया वो ऐसे इंडिया नंबर 3 बन गया. अब तू ऐसे उसे वो
भाई
beat कर
मैग्नस
रहा
को ड्रॉ कर रहा है वो. Okay, it's like a big deal. He's gonna win this.
Samay makes big deals out of everything. He has made me कि भाई you get COVID every single time. I'm like भाई 2 बार हुआ उस पे every variant ये वो. So now Samay, this is also a thing. Whenever you come, Vidit loses.
मेरे को रैंडम मैसेज आ रहा है. मेरे को एक बंदा मोहित सिंह कह रहा है भाई विदित अच्छा खेल रहा है, उसको कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस मत बोलना. रात के 2:51 में मेरे को मैसेज कर रहा है भाई कोई बंदा रैंडमली.
True well wisher.
Anyway, what's this rook d to check?
So rook E7.
अच्छा sorry.
But
मेरे को थोड़ा ब्लर दिख रहा है वो.
Sagar, can you do a series on improving notations?
वो कैसे करते हैं यार तानिया? Please teach. मैं तो उनको बोलता हूँ कि it's notation, but they are not motivated only to learn notation.
Because I think it's not important. I don't think like it has anything to do with chess strength, but it's very funny कि समय तो इतने सालों से अब खेल रहा है और तेरी chess strength इतनी बढ़ गई है पर फिर भी you are always messing up squares.
Yeah, I mean I have to memorize that, but still doesn't stop me
Still
from
doesn't
defeating.
get you to
IMs.
1800.
If I can say that. By the way, guys, I have defeated both these IMs here in 3+0s.
यार you know ये इतना unfair है. एक तो 100 games खिलाएगा, 100 में से 99 हार जाएगा, but nothing happens with that. Nobody gives anything about those losses. You lose one game and then that's the end of your career basically. इतना pressure होता है एक तो इसके साथ खेलने के against.
समय ना ऐसे बोलेगा सागर भाई वो एक बीके के 4 का वीडियो है देखोगे तो अभी लाइक हाँ चलो कुछ नहीं ऐसे ही मैं उठ के देखूंगा. बोला 1 घंटा हो जाएगा या हाफ एन आवर. फिर बोले सागर भाई एक गेम खेल लेना है क्या अभी? मैं लाइक ठीक है. एंड देन यू विल प्ले विद फुल फोकस एंड आई एम लाइक मैं तो वही मोड में हूं और फिर क्रश फुल. हेलो गाइस आ जाओ इंस्टा स्टोरी स्वाइप अप.
See, it's like you guys are experts at this, right? So you shouldn't be losing even once. It's like that.
Dude, I totally understand your pain, Sagar.
It's okay, guys. Now that I'm here, I can help you. What's the problem?
समय help here. Check आया है. Where should the king go? ऊपर या नीचे?
See, the king should go actually up, because as we are approaching the end game, we need to keep making the king more, active.
ये only blunder है ये.
ये गलत किया सागर भाई.
Let's give him one more chance. I mean, now think carefully.
Okay.
There are so many squares. You're right. You have. Where should you move the king?
See, if we come down, then rook will come down. So we can go. Yeah, so we can go there. Yeah, that's true.
That's correct. And also, when you come down, what is the point of coming down is that you have to take away the e8 square from the king. So you can't go king g8. You have to go to f8. It's the only move in the position.
Very nice.
It is like Lucina only, this one.
Oh, guys, look at the position. King f8 on the board, by the way.
Yeah, he's played.
I mean, of course, Vidit will play king f8.
And now Magnus has to play.
Are you taking a diss at Peter?
No.
Take a diss at Peter.
Just making you feel comfortable again.
I miss him.
When are you streaming with him again?
We're starting, the Champions Chess Tour is starting on the 19th of Feb. And dude, because we've been seeing so many draws in this, they've changed all the rules. People get more money when they win now.
अच्छा
Do you think that's
Oh.
going to motivate people to play more and less draws?
of course
Yeah, of course.
points भी है ना उसमें.
Points hai, but the main thing is, you get points because it's that football scoring system with 3-1-0, 3 for a win, 1 for a draw, and 0 for a loss. But also every single point you score, you make the dollars.
Nice.
Amazing. ये वाले पोजीशन में तो अभी फिलहाल ही इज थिंकिंग मैग्नस की कैसे करेंगे. तो एक क्वेश्चन है तानिया टू यू आल्सो एंड इट समहाउ इज आल्सो लिंक्ड टू समय की जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आई सॉ रिसेंटली तानिया दैट यू आर एनालाइजिंग द एंड गेम ऑफ मैग्नस का 6th गेम. यू हैड पुट दैट पिक्चर है ना. यू आर एनालाइजिंग, यू आर प्रैक्टिसिंग. आई थिंक इट वाज योर ट्रेनिंग सेशन.
Yeah.
एंड देन यू आल्सो हैव दिस कमेंट्री. तो लाइक how are you balancing उधर तुमको मतलब you are analyzing all these tough positions and you also playing and now you are also having this very big tournament commentary stint. तो कैसे करते?
I think it's been because I want to get back to playing, so I'm going to be playing some tournaments in March and April.
अच्छा
So
खेल
when
रही हो? Wow.
हाँ.
Okay, if you had to choose between commentating for the rest of your life or playing for the rest of your life, what would you choose
Tough
and
question. Tough question.
I think. Oh God, it's
Yeah,
very
now
tough.
Tanya is
It's like
calculating
your
the real
commentary
end
stand-up
game.
thing, dude. It's your commentary stand-up. No, it's your streaming stand-up dilemma
Yeah,
that you have
so
all
please.
the time, right?
No, but you have to
And for
answer the
Sagar,
question.
it's the Amrita Samay dilemma that he has. All of us have these dilemmas in our life, which are so difficult to answer. It's like our heart says one thing and our brain says another thing.
From Amrita Samay, one thing I've realized is you have to keep both happy. So whenever one feels that you're not giving enough time, you should give that person the time. So is it true for playing and commentary?
Yeah, and then I think it's also like incentives at the end of it, right? Like for example, you might think if you spend time with Amrita, what do you get in return? If you spend time with Samay, what do you get in return? So similarly, for me, it's also like easy to decide that if I spend time training, do I have a tournament that's coming up? Like for the last 2 years, we haven't had, right? So now it makes more sense for me to invest that kind of time and find that time for training. And to give it more to playing. What does playing get? And then commentary. But if I had to do one for the rest of my life, then I think it might be commentary. Because
Oh,
yeah, it might be commentary.
nice.
Oh.
Chess 24 stocks going up. But
Why?
it's
Why?
also probably like, when
Dude,
you...
I have to make my sub team for Chess 24. How do I do that? You guys have to help.
Hello, I couldn't hear that chess company, whatever it was. Hello? I was not here, just in case.
यार पता है सागर हम वो जब दुबई में थे ना समय we had a chess 24 versus chesscom battle situation जो ChessBase India पे there's a video of it also.
Oh, अच्छा ChessBase India पे वीडियो है ChessCom versus Chess 24 का भाई.
सागर मजे ले रहा है वहाँ पे दोनों की
नहीं अमृता is like वो क्या चल रहा है?
So basically what happened was that in that, we were very confident because like Askil was playing and he was like, yeah, I'm going to win this. And, of course, there's so much rivalry and all that competition. And dude, हम हार ही गए वो game. उसके बाद Chess 24 ने वो game ही नहीं डाली अपने channel में. सबने डाल दी. हमने organize की. ऐसे मैं host कर रही थी वो game.
हाँ वो बुरा तो लगता है but I think
बुरा लगा यार दिल से बुरा लगा.
So तानिया ने एकदम ही bold statement कहा है that if there is a choice between playing and commentating for the rest of her life, she would choose commentating over playing because of.
Can I tell you the reasons for it? One big reason which came to my mind immediately is that, dude, playing is just for the nerves and everything. It can be so difficult sometimes and it's so heartbreaking. The emotions are so high. It's also just, it's a different kind of a high, but also very difficult. So I can't imagine myself sustaining that for a very long time. While commentary, you can sit about how you can make it fun. You can think about it. You can give it time to make it new and interesting every time. You have company. Playing is very lonely. So I think for the rest of my life, I'll choose commentary if I had to.
Very interesting. But the stakes are very high. When you win, the amount of adrenaline and that pleasure you get cannot be compared in commentary, right?
Not at all. But I also feel, as I think you might also agree with this, that it's very fleeting. It's short-lived.
क्या यार अभी तुमने अभी उधर सिल्वर मेडल जीता उधर that is for lifetime. What is fleeting in that?
मैं तो Google कर रहा हूँ what is fleeting. Fleeting is when 4 of your channels cross 5 million subscribers. That means your channel has now fleeted.
ये समित तो कोई 800 से हारा क्या?
Oh man,
नहीं
समय
कौन
क्या?
बताए? नहीं
800?
अरे 1800 था वो
800?
वो OBS पे 1 हट गया था 1800 था भाई
समय lost to 1800. धनंजय
अरे ये
KR,
चुगलखोर कौन आते हैं भाई, ये
कौशल
ChessBase India
सातम,
में।
कार्तिकेय तिवारी.
अरे यार अरे हो गई यार, थोड़ी गलती हो गई यार आज वो स्ट्रीम प्राइवेट करनी पड़ेगी जल्दी से. By the way, happy birthday Sagar bhai once
Taking the
more.
title
Thank you,
Psycho Chess
bhai.
a bit too seriously.
How old have you become, Sagar bhai?
Bhai, I am 32 now. Apna digits have interchanged. You are 23. No, you became 24,
24,
right?
24. Yeah.
Samay, if you had to give Sagar one thing for his 32nd birthday, what would it be?
A new apartment somewhere away from Ghatkopar, man.
समय आता ही नहीं इधर. He's not come ever. He's come to Mumbai in last 2 years at least 20
Nice.
times. He
Very
never
bad,
came.
Samay.
He
Very
never
bad,
came.
dude. ऐसे क्या दोस्त होते हैं? This
अरे,
is that
मैं- every
A6
time I
B4
went-
वाले दोस्त.
Every time I went,
A6
Sagar
तो-
shared a new disease, yaar. So trust me on this.
I'll tell you what happened. पता है सातानिया? I used to say समय आजा, I'll give you chai. I had to say समय आजा, तेरे को एक brand deal देता हूँ. Then you would have come for.
That's where you messed up.
By the way, have you, Sagar bhai, heard about this new variant?
Which one?
क्या Neocove?
हाँ वो हो जाएगा, मुझे फिर ही पता चला.
सुबह से डरा रहा है ये इस वेरिएंट को लेके. अभी तक कुछ हुआ भी नहीं है, बस it's some very scary shit though.
Yeah, I think it's worrisome for sure. I mean, life शुरू होते ही ऐसे वापस break हो जाता है, and you know, like no one can plan stuff.
I
remember.
sometimes think about, these kids who are like who are like 14, 15, who never got to go out and who are sitting at home. How lucky! These guys are sitting at home, man, for 4, 5 years now.
No, I feel like for example अभी जैसे समय ने पूरा ऐसा इंडिया टूर वगैरह अनाउंस किया, and now that he had to cancel it.
Yeah.
तो वो भी सैड ही था ना समय.
आपने
Sad,
कभी
वो भी
समय
sad.
का स्टैंड अप देखा है?
कौन सा?
कोई भी?
नहीं, मैं जब स्टैंड अप किया तब उसने मेरे को ये किया था, लाइक अब हम
हाँ,
सागर शाह को लेके आते हैं, वो वाला उसने बोला था. बट अभी तक आई हैव नॉट सीन इज फुल स्टैंड अप, लाइक एक ऐसे हाफ एन आवर 1 hour वाला थिंग आई हैव नॉट सीन.
Hey, you have seen Tanya?
दिल्ली में किया था ना तूने?
Yeah. Next
सारे
time.
हम सब आए थे.
Next time in Ghatkopar, bhai, Sagar bhai.
प्लीज मुंबई में, एंड यू नेवर कॉल मी आल्सो इन एनी स्टैंड अप.
मेरे शो कैंसिल हो गए. मुंबई में भी 3 शो थे अभी जान में.
ये कितना झूठ बोलता है. हर हफ्ते पहुंचा होता है बॉम्बे में शो करने के लिए.
भाई अभी कहाँ गया मैं? अभी कोविड के टाइम
अभी
पे कभी
नहीं
नहीं
किया,
गया.
पर तू हैबिटेट पे बहुत शोज करता है.
हैबिटेट कहाँ है कि सागर शाह के लिए हैबिटेट इज अनदर यूनिवर्स. घाटकोपर टू हैबिटेट अनदर 3-4 hours जर्नी.
नहीं, आई हैव बीन देयर. आई वेंट टू दैट कॉमेडी क्लब टू सी बिस्वा.
Which one?
बिस्वा का एक था स्टैंड अप, मतलब
Which comedy club?
दैट.
Which one but? भाई अगर यहाँ पे रुक इवन चेक दे दे. रुक
E8 किंग F7.
ड्रॉ हो जाएगी ना.
ड्रॉ ही लग रही है.
तो लीड पे कौन है अभी टूर्नामेंट में?
Magnus Carlsen is on 7. So if he draws this, he'll be on 7.5. Anish was on 6.5, but he lost to Jorden van Foreest
He's
right
still
now.
playing, dude. Isn't he still playing?
Oh, he's playing. Yeah, people said he resigned. Oh, this is the position. Then we should check it out.
Oh.
I mean, but it's probably resignable according to the evaluation bar on the screen. So why is it so lost? Because white is not even an exchange down anymore, and you've got one extra pawn, and look at the pieces.
Well, it's total crushing. I guess you can just. Oh, he goes rook
Wait.
h3.
But don't you give up that rook?
Knight g6. So bishop into h3 runs into.
Oh, bishop h3. क्या हो रहा है?
d7.
Knight takes pawn क्या?
d7.
d7.
Queen b8.
ये वाला idea.
Yes, I think that's the plan. But maybe the evaluation bar is
Oh
going to
man,
just jump.
Tanya,
I
you
don't
are
know.
in,
Maybe it's
you
wrong.
are in amazing
Oh,
form.
yes.
Oh,
Amazing.
wow.
What a. भाई तानिया, you should seriously consider playing.
I am now.
नहीं,
What
मतलब
do you
तुम बोल
mean?
रहे थे ना कि सिर्फ कमेंट्री करना है. A check. Queen C8 को knight C8 मर रहा है. And this is a mate.
It's a mate. That's actually a very nice move, rook h3.
Wow.
But rook h3 को मारा नहीं तो threat is knight g6.
Knight g6. And how are you? There's just no way to fight that threat, right? Like you can go queen. Can you go something with your queen to defend g6?
But where? Queen c2.
That's the only move that comes to mind because queen g4 doesn't help. Maybe queen g4 is possible, no, Sagar?
Exchange queens.
I don't know because you take, you go knight g6. You want to go queen h6, kya?
And threat this.
And bishop f5?
वही तुम्हारा d7 नहीं आया?
अब queen b8 mate नहीं है. अच्छा, but
हाँ, but
knight
अब ये
g6
मर रहा है ना. Next.
ए rook f6 नहीं आ रहा क्या? Bishop f5. अच्छा, queen h7 में.
So it's not like totally clear.
I have a stream. I don't know if I'm doing my stream or not anymore.
Why?
It's like 10:30. I'd come for like half an hour. I'm just
अरे
chilling here.
भाई तुमको तो आज दीना बेनलकाया को हराना है ना.
मेरे को डर लग रहा है. पर मजे आएंगे.
क्या खेलने वाले हो?
भाई समय can you teach Tanya kitten gambit?
What is kitten gambit?
People in the chat are asking what is kitten. Please ask Samay about cat gambit. तो सुना था यार. What is kitten gambit now?
अरे there was this guy today against in the opponent. His second name was Kitten. So I thought he's into, he must have for liking for a soft corner for kittens. So when I was losing, I told him my kitten is ill. I have to go, man. But he didn't let me go. So in fact, he started telling me about his cat. And then I only got emotional and I blundered that game, man.
So it didn't work.
Didn't work. Cat gambit was reversed.
Samay, now you have to find new gambit. जैसे JNK हो गया, cat हो गया. Something new you have to think of.
क्या irritating है ये JNK gambit जो करता है हर बारी ऐसे 1 versus 30 खेलो इसके साथ और फिर ऐसे जब dead loss पूछ रही है इसकी पर तुम्हारे पास 1 second होएगा वो ऐसे सब sacrifice करके जीत जाता है. And that JNK gambit has just made my life hell, dude. It's like, I don't know what's the counter gambit to that one. I have to really come up with something.
Yeah, I think we are very bad at coming up with things. Yeah, like Samay, when he started streaming chess and all, I was like, ये JNK gambit क्या है? It became like a style. It became a fashion, like people started doing JNK gambit. I was like, Samay, stop it. Now I understand. JNK gambit was like statement.
Yeah,
bro, it really throws you off, no? In the end, especially if you're a player who's used to playing in a proper way, like you guys, you just don't expect these random moves. You don't know what to do.
हाँ, लेकिन कभी सोचा ही नहीं था ऐसा कुछ कि खुद का गैम्बिट बना सकते हैं वगैरह ऐसा कुछ.
Where is Amrita, by the way?
I will see. Oh, by the way, Rook E3 has been played by Magnus. I'll try and call her.
How is she doing?
She's good. Health-wise, she's much better. एक सेकंड ना.
Okay.
क्या हाल है समय?
बढ़िया है. ये रुक वापस क्यों ले गए वो?
Because और अब क्या ही है ना? He wants to give rook f3 check, push the king to g8. He wants to give a check from f3 and stopping b3 also. You can't go b3 anymore.
But how do you come rook f2?
Rook
B as
f2.
black?
Can you go rook f3 trade and then go king c7 d8? I can't like draw arrows and stuff, but you know what I mean? Like trade rooks.
You know what I mean? Have you heard that song?
You know what I mean? कौन सा था वो?
Krishna ka and
Okay, if you have to sing happy birthday for somebody, would you choose between बार बार ये दिन आए or would you sing happy birthday to you?
बार बार दिन आए.
Why?
Because it will sound less cringe.
Why does happy birthday to you? You're saying the entire of the world except the Hindi speaking population
you asked me, no.
when on birthdays are cringe because they're singing happy birthday.
You're asking me, right? What would I would do.
No, why would it be cringe?
If I sing happy birthday, but if I say bar, I can own up to the cringe. Bar,
no, but
bar,
you like saying like bar, but then you have to sing happy birthday with the same feel. You can't be like
happy birthday. No, I just don't know. I think bar din has okay. You can, for me at least. What would you choose?
We had this discussion already. I chose Bar Din Aaya. I made a very grand entrance on this stream by singing Bar Din Aaya. with my camera off because I was shy. But I sang it. It was
बहुत
very
अच्छा
bad.
गाया यार तानिया ने. She sang really well. And I
Thanks,
think
thanks.
Tanya is in a very good singing mode today.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
first video with her. Tanya says there was a great singer.
अच्छा.
Actually?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
serious.
Dude, what was it? It
You
was
were
that
playing Hand
song.
and Brain and you were improvising some songs.
Wasn't it
Because
with
when I had to
Karan and
tell
all?
was it with Suhani and me?
Karan, me, you, Suhani.
So Sonia and I were a team, right? So Sagar, I had to tell her to move the rook, and I was like, I think it was rook.
Ruk ja re, something like that.
It was fun. That was fun. Dude, that was what, 2 years ago or a year
Man, वो
ago.
क्या बनाया था ना पूरा ऐसा full. It was amazing.
You know, I was just telling, I was on Vivek's stream, I was just discussing with him. It's almost now in a couple of months, I'll be a streamer for longer than I was a stand-up comedian.
But yeah, this same question to you, Samay. Stand-up comedy or streaming?
Right now, if you ask me, then stand-up, yeah, because I miss it so much. I haven't done it in so long. But if I do 2 years of stand-up, then you'll ask me, I'll be like, I want to.
पर streaming भी तो नहीं किया तुमने. अभी तो just you have come
Yeah,
back.
भाई वो तो करते रहता हूँ ना पिछले पूरे 2 साल से. Stand-up, it's like I got so hurt when my tour got cancelled. You know, the second time I did the tour, second time it got cancelled. First time also variant, second time also variant. Haven't been able to tour only यार with the material.
But you did जितना half tour किया, I think you killed, right?
बहुत मजा आया मेरे को. Like I had so much fun, and you know, some of the cities were too good. Like I had a lot of fun.
But Samay, the question was if you had to do one for the rest of your life.
Stand-up.
Stand up, kya?
Yeah. There's more, you know, like you can. I think there's more chances to like not do the same thing again and again.
I think Samay is very much attracted with becoming like these great legends of comedy, like Dave Chappelle and Bob. Like he wants to create those masterpieces.
Yeah, bro. वो सब बनने के लिए you need to have proper, like you should be able to say anything without any. That's another conversation only. Like we'll do a podcast about that.
You need like freedom to say whatever you want, but you can go out of India and do it. Yeah, like you can go to different places.
Yeah. हिंदी में नहीं सुनेंगे ना वहाँ पे लेकिन. बार बार दिन ये.
Sagar, what about you? What if you had to pick between
Amruta and Samay?
Amruta and ChessBase India, and you had to do only one for the rest of your life, dude.
Tough one.
This is very tough. I'm sorry to put you on a spot.
It's a very tough. It's like, you know, like I used to equate ChessBase India to my kid, like because it was like something that we made it do. So it's like asking someone, will you choose your kid or your wife?
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're asking you, Sagar. So please answer that now.
That was the exact question, yo.
I think I'll choose Amruta because ChessBase India can't shout at me right now.
See, you can make more ChessBase Indias with Amruta, but you can't make more Amrutas with ChessBase India.
That's actually really cool. You can make more ChessBase Indias with Amruta. That's true. That's
crazy भाई. कोई नॉर्वे से देख रहा होगा स्ट्रीम. Let's see what Magnus is doing. यहाँ पे crazy बातें चल रहा है अपना. Amruta, ChessBase India.
Dude, I have to go, yeah.
अरे तानिया, sure, but मजा ही आ गया तानिया.
ये इतना तो उदास नहीं लगा मुझे अभी.
तानिया was like, चलो देखते हैं इसका एक्सप्रेशन कैसा है, कितना दुखी होते हैं.
नहीं, मैंने उसलिए नहीं किया, पर ऐसे तूने कहा अरे तानिया चल ओके.
नहीं, मुझे at some point I'm like, तानिया आई, क्या मजा आ गया. मतलब it was amazing, you know, like when I was commentating, like with Tanya it is like वो ऐसे स्विच करती है एक टॉपिक से दूसरा गेम, ये वो मजा ही आ गया मतलब टू कमेंटेट. एंड देन ऑन अनदर हैंड आई फील अ लिटिल बिट सैड कि भाई तान्या का और एक स्ट्रीम है, उसको मैं बोला था आधा घंटे के लिए आएगी और अब उसका इतना टाइम गया, तो इसके लिए वो यू नो आई एम अ लिटिल बिट कंफ्यूज्ड कि मैं खुश हूं.
बहुत मजा आया.
हाँ,
मेरे को बहुत मजा आया. मेरे को एक्चुअली में और आई बी डूइंग दिस आफ्टर सो लॉन्ग. पता है मेरी ऐसे तबीयत वाज क्वाइट shitty the last 10 days or so. So coming here.
तुम घाटकोपर में रहती हो? Your health was not good.
Yeah, but now I'm better, and yeah. So I had fun, guys. Thank you, chat. I'm gonna go try and set up my OBS. I have to remember how to do stuff. You know, I'm gonna just practice a little bit of that. मेरे को stress हो रहा है.
बट
अरे
तानिया बहुत मजा आया. एंड समय कुछ एनी पार्टिंग वर्ड्स टू
Any
तानिया?
parting words
भाई
of
पार्टिंग वर्ड
advice?
छोड़ो, पार्टी कब दे रहे हो आप सागर भाई? अच्छा बर्थडे ब्रो.
हाँ यार, actually Sagar, where is the party यार?
हाँ ना यार, कम ऑन मैन.
कहाँ दूं मैं? एक दिल्ली में, एक पुणे में, मैं मुंबई में हूँ, तो क्या पार्टी दूं?
तो
You're
आप
shifting to Pune क्या Sagar?
नहीं, पर मुझे पुणे, एक्चुअली स्पीकिंग, आई हैव अ लॉट ऑफ incentives to go there, right? Because Amruta's parents live there. Secondly, it's a very nice city, I believe. And Samay is there. But I have this doubt कि समय कितनी देर तक पुणे में टिकेगा. Like I have a
ब्रो
feeling
मैं
कि
तो
वो चला
बॉम्बे
जाएगा.
जाके आया वापस पुणे. आई लव पुणे. आई एम नेवर गोना लीव पुणे इफ दैट्स योर क्वेश्चन.
अच्छा.
पुणे इज द बेस्ट ब्रो. लाइक इट्स लिटरली द बेस्ट culture, best like place to be in.
Also, the
Weather-wise,
area which he lives is
area.
amazing. Yeah, like that place, मतलब happening है बहुत.
दे दो एड्रेस, लीक कर दो भाई. ये दुकान का नाम भी बोल दो घर के आगे जो है.
वो कोई तो स्वीट वाला है ना.
अरे
मेरे को
यार
टाटा स्टील की याद आ रही है अभी. पता है ऐसे कैलकाटा में कितना फन था ना.
Oh man,
अब मैं
it was
emotional हो
epic,
रही हूँ.
epic.
एपिक
ना.
था. ऐसे रियूनियन हो गया आज.
And you know, Samay, lot of people whom I met later said that okay, commentary with Tanya was amazing, like we enjoyed a lot. समय के जो कैमियोस थे ना, वो बहुत मजा आया लोगों को.
अरे वो छोटे छोटे टाइम के लिए थे ना, इसलिए बहुत मजा आया मेरे को.
बहुत like lot of people, of course, like Tanya was a class of her own, but तुम जो
सागर ये क्या करता रहता है बीच में. मेरे को ऐसी फीलिंग आती है कि इसे बोलना है कि समय वाज अमेजिंग, पर ऐसे तानिया को बुरा ना
अरे
लग जाए.
नहीं
तो मैं
भाई.
ऐसे डाल देता
अरे
हूँ
आई एम
बीच में
टेलिंग
कि
यू दैट people, it's a given, right? That commentary, मतलब it's like saying कि
ऐसे
stand up
बार-बार
comedy
क्यों बोल
हुआ,
रहा है तू?
क्योंकि वो लोगों ने बोला ही था ऑलरेडी.
एक तो तानिया इतने टाइम के लिए आया आपकी स्ट्रीम पे, सब किया
I
तो
swear यार. और फिर सबसे डिफिकल्ट पोजीशन में बोलेगा वाइट टू प्ले. ऐसे फिर मैं सोचूं.
बट तानिया, जब तुमको आंसर मिलता है तब खुशी क्या आती है तुम्हारी चेहरे पे? लाइक ओ
हाँ यार, पर प्रॉब्लम ये है ना कि अगर 5 बारी में से 4 बारी जब भी मैंने कुछ बोला ऐसे बार गोज क्रेजी बैक, तो फिर उसमें दुख भी उतना ही
नहीं
होता
नहीं,
है.
बिल्कुल
दिल
नहीं.
से
आज
बुरा
तुमने
लगता
बहुत सारे अच्छे
है.
आंसर
हाँ, आज
दिए.
अच्छा
But it's
मजा
like-
आया अच्छा इसमें.
best know that you guys don't watch engine and still you guys come up with moves. That's
You
the
guys,
crazy
they
part.
भाई, I was seeing the engine. That's
अच्छा.
why I was asking her. I was like
I
क्या
have the
खेलने का
eval
यहाँ
bar. I
पे?
can see the eval bar on the Zoom thing, so that helps though. But even with the eval bar, imagine it's so hard to analyze
Absolutely.
that when you're playing on the board, there's another level only then.
Yeah, true. पर मतलब कोलकाता में it was really epic
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do it, and
Super fun, yeah.
बहुत बहुत मजा आया था, and hopefully we can do something again. But
If COVID Neo doesn't come.
अरे यार ये कितना इरिटेटिंग है.
अरे भाई मैं जो पढ़ता हूँ न्यूज में वो देख के बता रहा हूँ भाई.
पर अभी नहीं आएगा ना, अभी तो थोड़े टाइम बाद आएगा.
क्या मालूम.
But now, right now, like Tanya, you will stream a lot, and Samay, you will also stream for some time.
Yeah.
I will stream tonight, hopefully first, then I'll see what happens. I want to actually, I'm looking forward to playing in March. So let's see
You are
how
playing
that goes.
Reykjavik Open.
So that's in April. In March, I might play one tournament as well. But let's see, maybe in
Over Neo.
Budapest.
Hmm.
So we'll
You have
see.
already
Yeah.
booked like tickets and all.
No, yeah, tickets kya abhi to with the COVID thing, you just don't know what's gonna happen when, right? So I'll wait till like mid-Feb and then take a call.
अच्छा. Cool.
Acha, tell me before I go that this year, Sagar, what, like, you know, there's so much you did last year, right? When you were 31. Like, what is it that you want to do this year? What is it that you want to achieve here? What's your personal goal this year? I want to
Sagar Shah wants to become Father Shah.
I don't think father is going to happen. But what I want to do is twofold. One is that I want to launch the ChessBase India Academy, जो मेरा बहुत सपना था पुराना, कि you know, have like a place where all this training that I do is nicely structured and people can go through. And the second is कि जो हमारा जो foundation है उसको और अच्छा, like you can help more people into chess, like Helpchess Foundation है, to make it bigger and more support more players. That is on the ChessBase India front. Personally तो fitness
GM
नहीं, वो नहीं.
कैसे हो तुम लड़के यार? Sagar, this was your segue to say something like I want to spend more time with Amruta. इतना कुछ ऐसे chess ये streaming में इतना time हो गया.
फंसा दिया
I
भाई
was
Sagar.
like giving you the floor for that major speech.
Sagar Shah making sure volume कम हो जाए so Amruta can't hear this.
No, I was trying to show the book that I was reading, which is my safe, मतलब जो जिससे मैं बच गया, I became a good husband. So that 7 principles वाला book. But I think this is very important, yeah, for me. But you know what we have figured out, like Amruta and I, to integrate ourselves together with work. मतलब कोई भी बुक पढ़ लो काम का या कोई भी, फिर वो डिस्कस करो, तो कैसे वाइफ के साथ भी टाइम हो गया और काम भी हो गया ऐसा.
पर ऐसा नहीं
that's very
होता
cool.
कभी कि जो आपको पसंद है वो उनको ना पसंद हो, ऐसा कुछ
होता है ना बहुत.
फिर
तो झगड़े होते हैं.
तो डोंट यू सी अ लूप होल इन दिस प्लान?
तो होते ही है ना भाई, वो तो इट इज अ गिवन, नो दैट.
आई कांट इमेजिन सागर शाह हैविंग झगड़ा यार.
नहीं बहुत, it is like gets really hot like this.
I know what you mean, Samay. Yeah, it's tough to imagine him losing his cool, na?
Yeah, सागर शाह यार,
नहीं
can't imagine.
I get really, मतलब एक पॉइंट के बाद, बट अभी मैं थोड़ा आई एम इम्प्रूविंग ऑन.
पढ़ेंगे एक दिन हम न्यूज़ में.
But what about you, Samay? Like what is your like, जैसे आप मुझे डायरेक्टली बोलते हो फादर शाह, तो आई विल आल्सो आस्क यू कि व्हाट्स योर मतलब क्या प्लान है?
मेरा प्लान तो वही है भाई.
नहीं वैसे नहीं.
मेरा प्लान तो वही है, इससे ज्यादा कोई वेग स्टेटमेंट हमने
मेरा
नहीं
प्लान तो वही है, 2000 बनना है, आपको जीएम बनाना है.
वो तो ठीक है, प्रोफेशनल चेस गोल, पर पर्सनल वाला.
हेलो, आवाज नहीं आ रहा. हेलो
क्या शेडी है Samay.
हेलो. अरे किंग ऊपर लिया उसने, देखो.
किंग F7. हाँ
किंग F7 के बाद क्या हो सकता है भाई?
भाई
किंग F7 के बाद क्या होगा भाई? कोई
बुलवा नहीं सकते, कुछ बुलवा नहीं सकते.
किंग F7 के बाद कहाँ आ सकता है किंग अभी?
बट तानिया क्या लगता है, ये बिफोर यू लीव ड्रॉ हो जाएगा ना आज विदित कार्लसन?
तू मुझे ऐसे भेजने के क्यों चक्कर में बिफोर यू लीव
भाई
पहले ही बोल दो ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन है तानिया, बस ये आंसर कर और फिर निकल यहाँ से.
तानिया बोलती है आई एम गोइंग वगैरह, मेरे को पूरा मैं ऐसे थोड़ा ध्यान रख रहा हूँ. बट प्लीज तानिया प्लीज डोंट लीव. Please tell me, what do you think will happen in this game?
Samay, what do you think about this? Like Sagar is being so rude to.
Sagar Shah is, he has his own propagandas and he just gives the perfect question, so we take the hint and we leave. That's what I've noticed.
नहीं भाई बिल्कुल नहीं. I'm so much like, मैं अगर आप लोग चले जाओगे तो मैं फिर अकेला ही करूंगा ना कमेंट्री, तो मेरे को तो
That's what you're excited about, right?
नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं.
हाँ, the question क्या था before I leave?
नहीं, मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कि विदित ड्राइंग विद कार्लसन एक्चुअली बिग रिजल्ट, राइट?
I think it wasn't that the result last year as well in Tata Steel.
You mean in when they played in Vaikanse?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they drew a very long game. Like
Yeah.
it went right into the end game where once again I think Vidit was pushed, but he was able to draw.
Yeah, no, I think before I leave, I just want to say that what really impressed me in this game was how Vidit solved all his problems so concretely. Like if we think about those moves of E4 and F4 that he played, he precisely calculated everything in this position, did not just wait, to maneuver or to play slowly or wait for that classic Magnus grind, but instead he sort of just took the position in his own hands and decided to simplify it as soon as possible. Then this end game that we saw, which we thought was very scary, where he traded the knights. If we just go on a little bit, I think he just calculated super well, saw that he's holding the position and believed in his calculation and went for it. He didn't try and play the position slowly.
Yeah, this I thought was the risky move that he played. है ना?
It was risky, but I think it was very well calculated. Like this rook e4 idea taking on a4, he just knew that this is holding, and I think we've lost somewhere.
No, I'm listening. I like the sounds of whatever you guys are saying.
Actually,
Yeah, so I
this
think
is
it
a
was very
good. This was the key moment. I think for all those who have joined now, कि जब यहाँ तक everything was going well, and this was the key moment where Magnus had to play. Samay, can you try and find white to play?
White to play.
अगर समय ने ऐसा instantly वो move बता दिया, it will be like epic.
Oh
रुक
God,
से नीचे आके चेक दिया तो वही है क्या?
Okay, wait. This is scary. Okay, let's give a check and let's ask him the next move.
नहीं नहीं
रोक
नहीं
राइट जाएगा
वो
pawn के
नहीं वो
पीछे।
नहीं वो नहीं
Get
आएगा of
close
course.
actually.
ए नहीं मैं बोलता हूँ रोक इस pawn को बचाएगा और फिर king जाके वो pawn ले लेगा।
No, this is impossible
Yeah,
to
no,
find something. It's
okay,
not your
sorry.
fault.
I
Nobody
know,
could
एक-
find it except Sase.
क्या था?
Even
यहाँ पे.
Magnus couldn't find
No,
it.
this is very tough move, but do you want to try?
Okay, I'll try once more.
It's impossible kind of, but
It's impossible.
पहले ही बोल दो भाई, it's impossible.
Sagar, if you have to like tell him the move without telling him the move, how will you tell him the move?
so I would say that these two pawns want to queen like this.
हाँ.
So you need to make a move by which you kill two birds with one stone. तुम्हारे भी आगे बढ़ना है और उनके भी रोकना है.
Pawn push करेंगे तो king takes.
ये पान तो नहीं कर सकते तू.
नहीं कुछ नहीं. मैं तो रुक a2 ही खेलता, मतलब रुक राइट में लेता पूरा.
ये रुके 7.
हाँ. हाँ.
But रुके 7 को b4 and maybe like या फिर check भी दे सकते हैं I guess. b4 then you take here then b3 फिर तुम इसके पीछे जाओ b2. तो यही हो गया कि like when you do this I'll come here. So your pawn will not queen and my pawn is also very well placed.
ड्रॉ हो जाती. फिर तो पता नहीं, आप बताओ.
Move here is epic, Tanya. If you could explain.
Yeah, 1 second. Dude, honestly, this is a very, very difficult move. But the point is that we have to stop black's pawns from advancing somewhere. Black wants to go b4. There are only two moves with which you can stop it. Right? And yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but the move here is rook to e4. And the idea is you stop the pawn from advancing, and in some position you can also go rook d4. Agar black ka rook wahan se hilega, at some position you can try and promote your own pawns. So in our calculation lines, we saw that this is winning, but it's almost impossible to find this move over the board.
Oh.
Or even with the evaluation bar, we couldn't find it.
Well, the main differentiator is this, that here in the game he played d7, and then when the check came, he went here. Like in the game ऐसे गया king b6 here and king d8 and फिर उसने b4 push कर दिया. So this entire thing, black's pawn started to move so quickly that Carlsen had no time. But if he had interposed this check with then rook e4 here, and then the same variation would have happened, like check, king yahan, go back, king yahan, check, king yahan, then black is not able to progress, and now I'm pushing this. So let's say for example you play a5, d7, king f, now I'm threatening king e8 and queen, so you go back king f7, and now this check, king g6, and I don't know, rook d4. This is what we saw, and it was
Rook d4.
oh sorry, rook
f7.
f8, right? We saw here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
makes complete sense.
No, this is very, very crazy stuff. I completely understand that it's impossible to understand this.
ये and end में फिर
Because Sagar उसे rook e4 के बाद he doesn't even need to give a check. He can go a5, right? So it's just very hard to understand. It's a very sese move, rook e4.
हाँ यहाँ पे ताकि ये मारा तो d6 मर रहा है, but then
Yeah.
d7
And now check. Now you take on b5, yeah?
or you play first b4.
No, but then rook e8 wins.
Rook e8 is correct.
So
So you have to give
check.
check, and then I take, and then I can take this, or I can even go here, rook d7. Yeah, I should take, and then I'm like winning.
All the best, Arjun. Play well and enjoy your games on Sunday.
क्या है ये?
Arjun has a tournament, a chess tournament on Sunday. So I was just wishing him all the best for that.
Oh, nice. Aryan got, oh, awesome.
मेरे को fever आ गया रे ये पूरा line देख के.
हाँ ना यार. Same.
Does it
thing.
happen like when if you analyze a lot, your body temperature gets up? Should happen, right? It happens with my PC. When I play a lot of games, it gets hot. Does this happen to you guys when you're calculating deep? You get like a temperature.
Yeah, I think generally you have if that happens to you, then you are working really hard on chess.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
भाई
See
तानिया,
you.
तानिया
बहुत
थैंक
मजा
यू,
आया. Bye chat. Bye Samir. Bye Sagar.
बहुत मजा आया एंड थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग, लाइक इट वाज बिग प्लेजर टू हैव यू, मजा आ गया.
हाँ ना यार. और अमृता को तो एक बार बुला दे, मैं उसे हाय तो कर दूं. If she's not busy. Is she busy? What's up Samir?
सुन एक प्रैंक करते हैं, जब वो आएंगे ना एकदम स्टिल हो जाएंगे, ऐसे जैसे हम अटक गए हैं, ठीक है?
हम ठीक है.
हम अटक गए हैं, ठीक है? एकदम को एक्सप्रेशन देके अटक जाना, स्माइल नहीं आनी चाहिए, कुछ भी नहीं आना चाहिए, ठीक है?
पर इधर से ही आ जाओ.
हिलना ही नहीं बिल्कुल भी, एक जगह पॉज.
1 मिनट रुक सकते हो, लाइक शी इज कमिंग इन फ्रॉम हर कंप्यूटर, तो 1 सेकंड शी विल. She had told me to send the link.
क्या है?
अरे यार क्या
अबे
किया
तू
यार?
हंसा क्यों मुझसे?
मैं
नहीं
कहाँ
हुआ.
हंसा यार?
तू हंसा मुझसे
नहीं
नहीं
यार,
हुआ, मुझे लगा
कम
मैं
ऑन
तेरा
यार,
बोल दूंगी.
क्रेजी
तूने
होने वाला था अभी सीन यार.
मेरे को ब्लिंक करना था.
अरे यार कोई बात नहीं.
क्या था ये?
कुछ नहीं यार,
ये कौन सा गेम है?
अरे कुछ प्लान किया था हमने यार, पूरा तान्या ने पूरा ब्लंडर कर दिया यार.
This game is called How to Waste Sagar's Time.
मतलब क्या प्लान था?
अरे कुछ नहीं था, कुछ तो था यार, कुछ तो सिल्ली था यार.
नहीं बता सकते, किस नेक्स्ट टाइम करेंगे ना.
ओह गाइस, ये लोग सब लोग ऐसे आंखों में मेरे को उल्लू बना रहे हैं. स्वराज लोनसारे जी थैंक यू, से हैप्पी बर्थडे सागर भाई, थैंक्स फॉर एवरीथिंग. मैं एक दो टिल अमृता कम एक दो सुपर चैट पढ़ूं.
व्हाई नॉट?
सूरज सुब्रवेती जी कह रहे हैं मेनी मेनी हैप्पी रिटर्न्स ऑफ द डे सागर भाई, थैंक्स फॉर मेकिंग मी सी that chess is so much fun, keep up the good work and can't wait to see what's in store for us. Thank you सूरज. सोहम पंड्या, अरे भाई क्या चल रहा है? सोहम everything is good. मॉर्फी says for तान्या, बहुत खूबसूरत हो तुम फूल की तरह, खुद को दुनिया की नजर से बचाया करो, सिर्फ आंखों में काजल ही काफी नहीं, गले में नींबू अच्छा मिर्ची भी लटकाया करो.
I love that. But thank you. But मैं ऐसे एक सोचा, अगर मैंने एक नेकलेस पहना, हाय अमृता व्हाट्स अप, जिसमें एक नींबू और मिर्ची हो.
अमृता
म्यूट है
आवाज
तू, म्यूट है. ऐसे
तेरे
अगर
गले को क्या हुआ है?
अमृता सोच, अगर if I start walking around with like a necklace with a lemon and a green chili on it, dude, it would be so cool.
देखो कभी नजर नहीं लगेगी.
It's a great idea. I might do it for a prank someday.
कैसी है अमृता? यू
कैसी है?
मैं मस्त हूँ. तू क्या सर पे लेके बैठा है समय? Your old self is back.
ये समय देखो अटक गया है.
नहीं वो नहीं है, वो हैंग नहीं हुआ है.
नहीं, वो ऐसे ही बैठा है. नहीं वो
हैंग हो गया है.
अच्छा हैंग हो
ये तुम
गया
दोनों ऐसे सेम घर में बैठ के ऐसे अलग अलग क्यों आए हो?
क्योंकि हमारा वो जो स्प्लिटर है ना.
नहीं सागर तू ना बोला मेरे को.
बट वो स्प्लिटर चला गया ना अमृता, देन यू कांट हियर बोथ, लाइक वी डोंट हैव लाइक इन वन कंप्यूटर.
समय सांस ले ले मर जाएगा.
वो कितना परफेक्ट पोजीशन में.
वो पता है मालामाल वीकली मूवी, मालामाल वीकली, उसमें एक कोई तो आदमी लाइक ही वो ऐसे करके वो मर जाता है ऐसे. सच में he was there. Oh my god, it was such good acting. I can't believe it.
Seriously?
यही तो प्लान था मेरा और तान्या का, तो तान्या ने ब्लंडर कर दिया था यार. ओड़ा अमृता हाउ आर
फेल
यू?
हो गया.
गुड. अरे क्या एक्टिंग किया है तूने, मस्त.
Oh man, that was so good.
Where are you अमृता?
भाई मैंने तो अंदर रूम में जाके I saw you on big screen and you were not even blinking, nothing.
वही तो मतलब.
Dude, I think if you play 1 2 3
सांस
start.
ले ले, समय सांस ले ले.
ए सागर भाई, वो गेम खेलना क्या चाह रहा हूँ ना कि कौन जो सबसे पहले ब्लिंक करेगा वो आउट, ठीक है?
मेरी स्ट्रीम का क्या होगा?
अरे तो you will lose anyway very quickly. I just saw.
By the way, are we live?
Yeah, of course.
अमृता
हम क्या ऐसे बस बैठे हैं क्या, किटी पार्टी चल रही है अपनी?
हाँ, मुझे लगा बहुत दिन हो गए करके.
Amrita is thinking Zoom call पे somebody is saying who blinks first loses.
वही बोली, ये चल रहा है तो मुझे लगा लाइव नहीं रहेंगे.
+50 बोल रहे हैं लोग, सब लोग समय को.
Thank you. अच्छा चलो guys, now I have to also bounce.
What?
अरे पर तू ब्लिंक नहीं करने वाला था ना.
हाँ अमृता खेलेगी मैसेज वाला गेम. ये मैं अनडिफिटेड हूँ इसमें मैं.
अमृता वर्सेस समय, who blinks first?
अरे क्यों सब लोग खेलेंगे ना, चारों लोग.
मेरे से तो होता ही नहीं है. मेरे से 10 सेकंड में मेरे को आंसू आ जाते हैं.
हाँ क्या?
Yeah, I'm really bad at this, dude.
मतलब
And
ट्राई करना सागर
Okay,
शायद
let's try.
3
हाँ चल रहा है.
ओके 5 4 अभी कर लो पूरा 3 2 1 अमृता मैं तेरे को देख रहा हूँ
सागर ने ब्लिंक किया अभी, मैं
हाँ मैंने
जानती
कर
हूँ.
दिया.
और अमृता ने भी ब्लिंक नहीं किया अभी. मेरे को ऐसे आंसू आ रहे हैं, मुझसे नहीं हो रहा.
भाई मैंने सोचा आंख बंद करके खोलता हूँ तो बहुत ही खराब भी हो गया.
It's अमृता versus समय.
अमृत और समय
Oh,
का जो कॉन्टेस्ट
damn,
होता है
no.
ना, they both
Dude,
can't
Amrita
can't
has got
stand.
a death stare and she has that really like that smiling.
It's like we both are fighting for Sagar.
Amrita
Death
does
stare
this.
दे रहे हैं एक दूसरे को.
Amrita, do not give up on this. Sagar is
I have not lost in this game for 10 years, Amrita.
whoever wins. Sagar has to kiss that person.
क्या कर रही है तानिया?
What? जैसे ही बोला अमृता ने ब्लिंक किया.
But
What the hell?
I told you secret. मैंने चैट में ही ब्लिंक किया था, बट किसी ने देखा नहीं था. बट ठीक है, फर्स्ट टाइम मैं हारी. यार समय यार कैसे करता है तू?
बता नहीं यार स्क्रीन टाइम इतना टाइम वो कर रहा है अभी
मुझे
आंखों
ऐसा
का मेरा
लगता है
पानी उड़
कि
गया.
तानिया समय ने बचपन से इतने सारे चीजें सीखे हैं, मतलब जो एक्चुअली
यूजलेस चीजें ही है सारे
हाँ,
वैसे.
ब्लिंकिंग
मतलब-
ये सीखा है बचपन से.
अमेजिंग.
मैंने अपनी गुदगुदी मिटा दी है पता है आपको. मेरे को गुदगुदी नहीं होती अब.
तूने
आपको होती है?
कितने समय
हाँ मैंने गुदगुदी मिटा दी है अपनी
Psycho
बॉडी
समय
से.
कितने लड़कियों की आंखों में देखा है तूने?
अरे
ओह,
एक
nice.
साथ मैं 5000 देख सकता हूँ भाई, पर देखा नहीं ज्यादा मैंने.
तभी तो उसकी स्किल डेवलप हुई है सागर.
हाँ, like
तुम लोग को होती है क्या गुदगुदी?
गुदगुदी
Oh, मैं
बहुत
तो
होती है.
बहुत super ticklish हूँ.
अमृता तेरे को होती है गुदगुदी?
नहीं
तेरे को भी नहीं होती?
नहीं,
सागर भाई की चॉइस तो है मतलब.
सागर को होती है. सागर को
पैटर्न इन हिज चॉइस.
Yeah, he has a type. You know,
He has
one
a
who
type.
doesn't blink, one जिसको ऐसे गुदगुदी नहीं होती. That's Sagar's type.
I never asked अमृता कि तेरे को
Bad in
गुदगुदी.
bullet chess.
समय के सवाल.
ये अमृता अपना पेंडिंग है बुलेट याद रखना.
हाँ ठीक है. अरे कितने महीने हो गए मैं खेली नहीं हूँ, पता नहीं लास्ट. पर अभी समय
समय
से खेलूंगा. अभी इसका best chance है.
maybe
जी.
maybe we can do a match, ठीक है, where if you win ना, then in March we can take like time out, like ऐसे we can
You
go.
and me?
हाँ, you me and we can
शक्ल देखो कितना खुश हो गया है.
we'll also ask.
मार्च में क्या है ऐसा स्पेसिफिक?
गया सागर शाह. It was this moment. Sagar Shah knew that he has blundered.
ओके ओके.
आज तो बर्थडे है उसका. He's
अच्छा,
allowed
of course,
to. He
of
can
course.
get away with anything.
जिस तरह अमृता ने श्श किया ना, it seems like इससे पहले इस बारे में बहुत बवाल हुआ है घर में.
वो तो हुआ ही है. कोई भी चीज का मैसेज आता है सागर को तो फिर वो ही ब्लर्ट्स आउट. तो बाय द वे समय मैंने बीच में एक न्यूज़ सुना था. आगे क्या हुआ मुझे नहीं पता. बट आई हर्ड दैट यू आर क्विटिंग स्ट्रीमिंग.
हाँ वही वीडियो तो नहीं देखी तूने?
नहीं वीडियो नहीं देखी मैंने.
डाली तो थी मैंने जिसमें आपके पति ने क्रेजी वोकैबुलरी यूज करी है. नहीं देखी आपने वो वीडियो ट्रेलर?
नहीं. अच्छा देखती हूँ मैं.
देखना प्लीज.
अच्छा so you're not quitting.
No, that was just a trailer.
No, I think it's
It's a draw.
G6 खेला उन्होंने. Yeah.
Dude, can we just quickly take a look at the Pragg Fabi game? Because it's really, if Pragg is not getting checkmated, then he's completely fine.
This is amazing, yeah, how
That's in
Tanya
any game,
is
no?
able to.
No, that's not any game. That's only this game. But apparently he is
Oh.
getting checkmated.
Oh my God!
Wow.
But how is he
Wow, what a
fine?
position.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the a pawn is lost? That's why.
A pawn's gone, right?
But
Oh,
Fabi is to not even trying to checkmate him. Yeah, there is no. Check कहाँ से है? Where is the check?
Oh, he's just gonna win the G pawn, kya?
Oh, he'll just take this and then he will romp home with this pawn.
So if you go G3, you go Queen F3 check.
All right, guys. Now I have to really bounce.
Yeah, me too. I have a stream. What do you mean you have to bounce? I have to bounce. Bye.
Okay then. All right.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
friends.
Samay, for coming and
Thank
Samay
you.
for.
Bye,
आज
guys.
तुमने flip भी करने को नहीं बोला. You are so nice ऐसे. for my
I forgot.
birthday. हाँ.
But happy birthday, man. Have a good one.
ऐसे कैसे भूल गया तू समय? तू ये तो कभी नहीं भूलता.
अरे मेरे को दिख नहीं रहा है वो पूरा जो उनका मेन स्क्रीन है. मैं अपना स्क्रीन देख रहा हूँ. मेरे में तो फ्लिप ड्यू में. बट ऑलराइट, सी यू अमृता जी. बाय बाय. टेक केयर.
Yes, bye-bye.
आप दोनों अलग अलग कमरों में से क्यों आए वैसे?
मैंने ये क्वेश्चन 15 मिनट पहले पूछा था.
अच्छा ना.
हाँ तू सोया था क्या? नहीं वो स्टैचू था तभी.
हाँ. क्यों?
स्प्लिटर
क्योंकि
चला गया
splitter
है.
नहीं.
We have to find
हम
it.
लोग स्प्लिट हो गए.
अच्छा मैं आता हूँ ना. I am the real splitter here.
But समय we should go to that this बलराज का जो स्टूडियो है जहाँ पे उसने चेस का
Yeah.
क्लब बनाया है.
Done. You
To
and me,
play
right?
chess. हाँ मतलब we'll go.
You
there.
and me, right?
मतलब समृता also we can take. No?
Okay, we will.
भाई सुहानी भी आने वाली है घर पे. तू आ ना.
मैं तो सागर के लिए आऊंगा ना. आता हूँ. कब आ रही है सुहानी?
अभी
Tomorrow is Suhani's
31st
birthday.
या 1st.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, tomorrow's her birthday.
She's just one year younger to 1 day younger to me. We both are born in 1990.
Oh हाँ क्या?
But she uses Mama Earth on her hair. So guys, I think that should give you enough incentive to start using Mama hair.
Oh my goodness.
Alright guys, take care. Bye. Goodness, yes, goodness also. Goodness inside.
तानिया चली गई उठ के. ये समय के टाइमिंग पे.
नहीं तानिया is still there.
I know वो उठ के चली गई कुर्सी से.
तानिया तेरा स्ट्रीम कैंसिल हो गया ना?
कौन सा स्ट्रीम है तानिया?
करना है, जा रही हूँ. बस अब अमृता आ गई तो मतलब सबको भगा दो स्ट्रीम से.
नहीं
क्या है ये?
तानिया क्या फ्लिप पे फ्लिप करती है रे मस्त ऐसे
जैसे
बोलते
ही मैं जब-
now I have
जैसे
to
ही
go
अमृता
I have
आ
to
गई,
go
Bye,
and then
Surya,
when you say कि तानिया thank you so much वगैरह usually like you want me to go.
Okay, no, I actually have to go.
Tanya
I
ने
just
सच में
I
बोल
wanted to
दिया.
say hi to Amrita, and Amrita,
Hi,
I'm gonna
Tanya.
hi. I'm gonna start streaming, so we have to do stuff together also. Okay, we have to
Yes.
do like our girls' night streams, dude.
Yes, I'm there. Let me know anytime.
Bye guys, Sagar, बहुत
Bye-bye.
मजा आया. Bye chat. Amazing fun, amazing
Tanya.
games. Keep following, yeah.
If rook f6 check and king comes out on e7 don't you think Vidit is in trouble?
Rook f6 check, king g7, king e7.
हाँ maybe he will play king f7 here. Then you lose this
Right
pawn.
now.
No, when rook f6, you have to go king g7.
No, but right now it's
अभी-
black to play.
Oh, it's black's move, क्या? हाँ.
So ये खेला
But why
ये
can't you go
मारा,
b3? Why can't you go b3?
b3 check king
King
g7.
G7.
I was thinking
Check.
king e7
Check.
check king rook e6
At least you can take and go b2, no?
take b2 d8 queen b1 queen
Draw.
मेट तो नहीं है.
draw हो जाएगा
Draw.
ये क्योंकि check something and फिर ये pawn बन जाएगा. Okay, so draw is the most likely result and बहुत मजा आया तानिया commentating with you and thank
Flaming
you so
heart.
much.
हाँ यार, play
हाँ
hard.
flaming heart. And तानिया तुम्हारा जो ट्रेनिंग सेशन है उसमें अभी लोग नहीं आ सकते ना like now.
No, they can join, but it's always, I mean, because it's sort of a continuous thing. I'll be finishing the opening part in the next one, then we start with the middle game. The sooner you join in the course, basically.
तो
the
कैसे
more it
ज्वाइन
is.
करेंगे?
They go on MyDigi World, and there are all the
Can you put the link in the chat?
MID on this chat.
हाँ यहाँ पे तो लोगों को पता चलेगा guys तानिया is teaching in
On
this
your
one.
chat, क्या?
हाँ in my chat.
Okay.
Guys, Tanya is teaching in this course where my
So
DG
guys,
World
just
के साथ.
come here.
And it's the
all
first
the
time.
and also come on this.
Sorry. नहीं वो first time she's teaching something like this. So in case you want to learn
डाला
from
मैंने।
her and that would be nice. ये क्या है?
बस सब कुछ डाल दिया मैंने।
तुमने सिर्फ चेस 24 ही डाला है?
और MyDigi World भी डाला मैंने।
ओह अच्छा हाँ तो मैं इसको
और
मैं
कुछ है क्या? हाँ एक
तुम
और।
मॉडरेटर ही नहीं हो बन गई
हेलो मेरे को मॉडरेटर तो बनाओ।
अब हो गई
और
तो
एक और
डाल।
चीज डाल दी।
और एक क्या डाली
एक और डाल दी। चलो मेरे को मैं बैन ही हो जाऊंगी सीधा। कुछ भी
link Mayur has put the link. Thank you Mayur for putting the
Thank you,
link.
Mayur.
And
Oh
then-
yay, I'm a moderator.
Yeah. So guys, check that out and thank you Tanya once again for being here.
Bye guys, see you
Bye,
soon.
bye.
Bye Sagar. Bye Amrita.
Bye bye.
Bye chat.
अरे अमृता कैसी हो
ए हैप्पी बर्थडे.
यार अपन स्ट्रीम तो कभी करते ही
तूने
नहीं
केक
ऐसे.
दिखाया क्या? तूने केक दिखाया?
हाँ मैंने दिखाया लोगों को.
Awesome.
Guys, ChessBase India clips पे there is the cake का thing, cake का video and it was very nice surprise by Abhyuday and Nidhi from ChessBase India to me And now Amruta is here. Amruta gifted me. Tanya ने सब कुछ पूछ लिया उसके बारे में. But there are a few super chats that I have to read. But before we go to that, I just want to update you of the position. Vidit is drawing the game. Oh,
And for all those who missed it, this is the cake.
so nicely made, yeah? Like
Yeah.
full chess ka. And thank you guys so much. There were so many super chats that were sent, which I couldn't read, so I would like to read them. Sayud Shinde says, "My birthday is tomorrow. I don't know why all intelligent people are born in January." Thank you, Sayuj. Raj Pandit कहते हैं, Sagar, happy birthday, Sagar bhai. By the way, guys, you can go on Instagram. तो उधर चालू रख के इधर आ गई.
क्या चालू है?
Zoom.
अच्छा.
उधर ही बैठ ना.
मुझे स्क्रीन दिखती नहीं है, बहुत ब्लर्ड है.
हाँ. So, happy birthday, Sagar bhai. More power to you and your passion for chess. Keep educating and keep entertaining. Lots of love and good health. Thank you, Raj Pandit. Guys, he's a very well-known musician. You can follow him on Instagram. Parth Maheshwari. Hi, Sagar. Please reply to my previous super chat question. Time to have some... I'll check that. Parth says, after Vishy Anand, I feel the killer instinct is missing in the new crop of players like Vidit and Hari Krishna. Not a criticism, but just a mindset. The Vishy type hunger is not there. Your thoughts? I don't know, Parth. It's very difficult to say. And you know, there was a period when Hari was in top 10 in the world. Right now, Vidit was performing really well. I think it's tough to say that they don't have it, because I've seen Hari and you know his focus, his dedication to chess. It's right at it's an another level. You know, like he actually decided to shift to Europe to further his chess career. Now, how can someone, do that if doesn't have that mindset of, wanting to become a great chess player badly? Vidit, on the other hand, gives so much time and effort and energy to chess. So, I think at the end of the day, it's not only about not being hungry or wanting it. It is also a question of Anand is like has that super genius ability. Like a person like Anand is once in a generation kind of a player all around the world. So we hope that some of our young talents will be able to achieve that thing which Anand, 5-time world champion. Yeah, that's what I my take is. But and all of them have mental trainers. Yeah, like you cannot say that they don't have. I mean, they all work with them. Bhagyashri Kaduskar says, happy birthday, Sagar, and thanks for getting Tanya. She just makes the commentary so much more exciting. I absolutely agree. Amruta, like, Tanya ke sath commentary was epic, yeah? Like, she was so good.
Acha. Okay, and how was the game? Like you were commentating on Vidit versus Carlsen, yeah?
Yeah. It was great. Like, Vidit was playing very well. Then he blundered. Then Carlsen had a win. And then Vidit held a draw.
Oh.
Now it's a draw. Like at this moment, rookie 6. Vidit is still thinking he has like 26 minutes, but it should end in a draw now. Like B3, jo apun ne dekha na, B3, B2.
So how easy or difficult would you say it is for Black like to defend?
Now it's
like
easy.
the D7.
Now it's easy. Now. Yeah, now it's not an issue. But earlier it was not easy. Parth Thakkar, thank you for your birthday wishes. Vivaswan Damle says, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Sagar. Here's wishing one of the nicest, kindest, and beautiful person I've come across in the last 2 years. Thank you, Vivaswan. That's very kind of you. Mr. Great 123 says, your predictions for the last 2 candidate spots. Very tough, yeah. I think Wesley So is definitely someone whom we should look at. And also Anish, I think good chances of him. Ding Lijan. And of course, we want Vidit and Hari Krishna to do well. They both are also playing. If they both can make it, nothing like it. But they are not the favorites rating wise. Okay, so I went through all the super chats. Amruta, do you want to check a few games?
Yes.
Okay. You know, the biggest upset of this round, I would say, is Jorden van Foreest beating Anish Giri.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Netherlands number 1, number 2.
Yeah, it was like, like in this position, Jordan just sacked an exchange like this.
Oh, rook f6.
And then he just went on to.
But look at the king side. I mean, black has no pieces there.
Yeah, it was beautifully played.
It's like a typical dream position. No, you have your knight on e3 and all your pieces are getting so active. But I like black's rook on h6. Did it not help?
No, I mean, it didn't. He lost this. And then he lost this. Yeah. I think this was his last mistake. Like till here, there were some hopes, even this is lost. But when he took on h3, bishop h5 ke baad, it's forced. Now you can't move the rook, then you lose this. So he had to bring his bishop back, but he lost the exchange and he lost the f6 pawn.
Yeah, that is the biggest upset for sure.
And Mamedyarov Karyakin drew very quickly. Like they hardly played any moves. Like both of them played quite quickly and drew here. Nils versus Esipenko also drew. It was a long game. And Praggnanandhaa lost to Caruana.
He lost, yeah.
Yeah.
That position.
Yeah, I think the main mistake for Praggnanandhaa, like his position was fine till certain point, like till here. But when he went knight e2 b5, this move knight d4 turned out to be the crucial error. Because
knight d4, why?
Yeah, because he should have taken like take and queen d3 and the game goes on. But he played like knight d4 and it allowed take when this a pawn became very strong, like here. So he gave up.
It is actually pretty subtle in that sense, like not so clear, yeah, to just realize that a pawn is becoming a passer.
Yeah, it was not at all simple. So he got like kind of misled after knight d4 and then Fabi converted it very well. And again, a big lesson for Pragg with these top players. And yeah, here I asked the chat for the move and I'll ask you, black to play. Thank you IPW Law who sends us happy birthday member for 5 months, booster of Indian chess. Shashank says happy birthday Sagar. Welcome to 32nd Club. Thank you Shashank. Swapnil Telang says there are hungry and wanting players across the globe. It's about good day, bad day and also form. Yes, true. But also, I mean, at the end of the day, it's also about your chess capabilities, I think. Like players like Magnus, Anand, Kramnik, they have something like all those who have become world champions, Karpov, Kasparov, they have some additional things which I think is very, very special in them. You know, you can't, a world champion and a top player, there's definitely something that differentiates that mindset.
So I consider two moves. First was bishop e4.
Yes, you're right.
And
this is correct.
Second was queen 8.
No, just bishop e4. You have to go
that
back.
Queen and knight versus.
This is just
lost. Should be better, yeah, for black.
And he just won here. Even at the right moment gave up his pawn on a2 because he got a huge attack against the king. तो उधर उसने वो pawn भी दे दिया. He resigned here because this is hanging and then the h pawn is strong. So Duda he resigned. Duda versus Shankland was the shortest game and very surprising that Duda actually drew so quickly. Yeah, like
exactly. Duda generally always fights, right? That's
he's a big fighter.
But also health issues we don't know. Like that's
and also this position, Amrita, in the end, it's not even like drawn. It's just he offered a draw here after 10 moves. I thought there was this 30 move rule, but apparently not.
But didn't Dubau get COVID or something?
No, this is Duda versus Shankland.
I understand, but I mean, what I'm trying to say is if somebody's health is bad, then that could be the reason.
Yes. Here they have said Daniel Dubois will leave the Tata Steel tournament. Has left the Tata Steel tournament, and he lost to Rapport, Richard Rapport.
I mean, walkover, you mean?
Yeah.
So right now, let's look at Vidit's game one time if there is any possibility for.
So we looked at rook e3, king f7, rook e7, king f8, rook e5, g6, rook e6. This is the moment. Like this is the position. I think Vidit has multiple ways to draw b3 and also king f7, both.
So king f7, rook takes a6, suppose. Is that also a...
And then I go b3.
Anyway, b3. Yeah, you know.
Somehow this king, this path is controlled by the king, this path is controlled by the rook. So
okay, one second. If white would have gone, king f7, you don't even have much option. Rook e7 check is one option, let's say.
But I go
king
back
f8.
Here. I think now we have reached a situation where Magnus has to kind of force a draw, yeah? Like he cannot even play.
It's not, yeah. It's
or Amruta, like let's say I go king f7, you go rook b6, correct? I play a5. Now,
let's say I go rook b7 with that of rook c7.
Yeah, this could be interesting. Now I go g5, you go rook c7. I play b3. This is an important move.
Yeah, king c8, then takes b2.
Oh, they played Amruta. They played very quickly.
Acha.
Vidit played b3, rook f6 check, king g7, king e7, rook e2 check. Oh, this happened. What we were analyzing.
So it's a
queen, check. Yeah, draw, guys. Draw.
Awesome.
I mean, it's not draw yet, but they will draw and with
perpetual hai na, abhi ho gaya na. Perpetual. Like.
Amazing. Yeah, like I think Amruta, Vidit was very, very close to losing the game in the rook end game. And he managed to hold. So it's a big result. And also it means that his tournament, which kind of could have been derailed after he lost to Praggnanandhaa, but he kept his cool and he's managed to hold this one.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes, Rafi says, Sagar bhai, when someone withdraws from middle of the tournament, isn't it unfair to get full points to remaining opponents? I get it, yeah. I mean, it's kind of very much unfortunate, but what to do, yeah? Like these are the times that we are in. Sachin Chandela, many, many happy returns of the day, Sagar bhai. Keep doing the good work. Keep doing the great work. Thank you.
Guys, what did you have for dinner? I hope Sagar told you all how he kind of very smartly, while we went for a walk, usne dekha bhel wala and he's like, oh, I want to now eat the bhel. And aaj mera birthday hai, na to tum bol nahi sakti.
Sukha bhel.
Yeah, sukha bhel. बिरयानी, अरे बहुत लोगों ने बिरयानी खाया, हमने भी बिरयानी खाया है. समय को पूछना चाहिए था आज कितना किलो बिरयानी खाया.
By the way, on this India's Got Chess Talent, lot of people have sent in their responses. I don't know how many of them have actually been able to attach the games in one PGN file, guys. That's a very important thing. It's like for all those who do not know, on today we have launched a new program on ChessBase India, which is called India's Got Chess Talent, where we have asked you to fill a form, which is the first link in the description, where people can then be guided by strong trainers to help you improve at chess. And maybe I or someone else will personally try and guide you. But you need to fill the form carefully. You need to make sure, you need to tell us why do you want that we should help you. You should attach the games of yours so that we can look at the games and tell you exactly what is going wrong. So please do that if you are interested. And by the way, while we speak, Vidit and Carlsen have drawn the game, and congratulations, Vidit, for a great result. Singh Saurabh says, "Happy birthday to the man who made me fall back in love with chess." Thank you, Saurabh. Amrita, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I was just checking what people, had for dinner. So paratha, biryani, kebab paratha, and all the interesting stuff. Anyway, that was cool. बहुत दिन बाद. So guys, yeah, so
Can
COVID
you-
हो गया था, so we are now kind of fine. It was a great experience in that sense कि finally 2 साल में COVID हुआ, क्या है COVID पता चला. But
Yeah.
all good.
So Amrita, Vidit drew. Arjun also drew. Praggnanandhaa lost. And Surya Ganguly, who is playing in the challengers section, he drew his game against Polina Shuvalova.
Okay.
So today, no Indian
All
actually
games
won.
are over. Yeah, all Indian games are over. Nobody
Yes.
won.
Surya actually had his chance here, in fact, in this end
Oh.
game, when he went rook
Surya's
h1.
black.
But the thing is, chess is so subtle. He went rook h1, and somehow the position is now.
Can he consider moves like e5 break at that point, or it doesn't make
Yes,
sense?
yes, you are right.
No.
Like here, after rook h1, king
not
d4, e5.
Here he played e5.
No,
okay.
here e5 is winning. I don't know why.
Here e5 is winning. Sure. Like suppose e5. I was thinking, yeah, if you don't take, then e4 is going to be losing, I think.
Yes,
Clearly.
so you take.
So you have to take.
Take king a5.
Then king takes.
h2. I don't know. King e4.
King a5, king e4.
King a6.
King will be. नहीं h2 जल्दी आया लगता है. Maybe
So-
king e4, king f3 is the idea, na? So
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
take.
yeah. So the
King
thing is, this
f6.
e5 actually makes way for the king to come.
Correct. You're not even going to take g3. It's just king g2
Yeah.
and. Oh, that was a good variation, sir. If you end it after king f3. Like it takes, king takes.
What takes him?
Oh,
a5.
sorry, I am looking at the wrong. King g2, king b5 को रुक b1 check है हमेशा. So that's.
Yeah, you can't, like if you go king d7, then here.
And check and h2, you're very fast.
So
e5 timing wise, it should have been played, but later also he played, na? Was that winning or was it a little already slow?
here he played e5, but now after take, I think rook h4 came. Blocking.
So at that point also he had a choice. So let's try to see why.
So here,
not
instead of
working.
playing e4, h2, if he played take and rook h4
And now rook h4. What do you have? h2, yeah? Yeah,
king
h2 with the idea of rook b1 check. No, why h2?
king a5 पे जाएगा वैसे भी.
हाँ.
So king g6, king takes, king g5.
king g6 पे क्या कर रहे हो?
I don't know. King g5 directly I should do. But king g5, king a6.
No.
No idea. I mean, I'm not able to understand this rook endgame so well right now.
No, I think Sagar, 1 second. e5 वो rook h4 का position रखो ना एक बार. उधर h2 suppose खेला तो after e5 takes, king takes, rook h4. Suppose you go h2. Is it king a5? Now I think he wants to go king f6, king g5, and maybe he wants to go f4.
Or even such a move, yeah? Like take.
Rook a1, rook h2. Acha, you try to win like in Lucena. Rook g4.
Rook
This
a3.
is
Rank cutoff.
This is simpler. Nice.
And then you come here and you take this, you win.
Hmm.
It's a very complicated endgame though. Like it's not.
Yeah,
And the
but-
rook endgames are so complicated. Like even in Magnus Vidit, it was not simple. Like
It's often a matter of that one move. Yeah, you kind of miscalculating it at some point till maybe fifth or sixth move, and then
yeah. So Shuvalova is so smart. She's not even taking this pawn because she knows that rook a1 and takes this will actually
that
be
is-
bad for her this trade. So she's just waiting. So now the rook cannot move because of check and take this. And basically
and the king is locked on the h5.
yeah, so she had to do this. And now it's wow, nice. No, nice play by her. Like Shuvalova managed to
Great
hold.
defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Gangs was almost very close, right, to winning.
Very, very close. And now a question to everyone in the chat. What do you play here? Only move to draw. White to play. Guys, king a8 is going to lose you the game. So you have to play king c8. Whoever said king c8, you get full points. Because king a8 looks like the most natural move, but it doesn't work. And this is the key aspect of this entire position, which I want to discuss here. That in such positions, you should go to c8. If you go to a8, I go king c6, a7, and I just swing my rook over. And when you go here, it's a mate. So you shouldn't go to a8. You should go to c8. Remember this. It's a very important thing. If he goes here, you can go back and then queen. And this is what happened. And now with pawn on a7, now if you try to come closer, it's a stalemate. So it's a draw. So this was, and now Amruta, just everyone's asking for standings. So
Okay, sure.
let me just you are here. Let me just bring you. So these are the standings right now. Magnus Carlsen at 7.5 out of 11. Richard Rapport has actually come close, yeah, to Magnus now. And 7. Anish could have actually today caught up, but he lost, so 6.5. Mamedyarov 6.5. Esipenko 6. Karyakin 6. Vidit 6. Vidit has actually now opponents who are left. For Vidit are Sergey Karyakin and Mamedyarov. So tough opponents. Caruana on 6, Duda on 5.5. Sorry, Jorden on 5.5, Duda on 5, Shankland 4.5, Dubov 3.5, Nils 3.5, and Pragg 3.5. Pragg has to still play against Esipenko and he has to play against Dubov.
Oh my god.
So I
Actually,
think
Dubov has to play Carlsen also.
Carlsen and Pragg.
Carlsen and Pragg are going to get walkover.
Yeah. I think in a way it's not a great thing for Pragg because he wanted to play against everyone.
Sure.
But what to do? Yeah, this is how it is. So this is the standings here, and in the challenge, by the way, all games are over here. And in the challengers section, Arjun today dropped pretty quickly against Erwin Lamy. And these are the standings in challenger section. Arjun is on 9 points out of 11. Bear has come a little closer. Jonas Bear, 7.5. Like he had first lead of 2 points. Now he has only 1.5 point lead. Guen Thaidai is on 6.5. Maybe he'll win, then he may reach. But Amruta, like 2 rounds to go with 1.5 point lead. I think Arjun is set, yeah. He is to play Guen Thaidai, who is a good player from Czech Republic, and also he has to play against Mark Andrea Morizzi, number 11. So I think
I think he'll
Arjun
manage, yeah.
should win this. Surya is on 5.5, 50% score, number 9 place.
Awesome. Sagar, how about I play one bullet game? I don't remember last time when I played.
For sure. Where would you like to play?
Anywhere, it's okay.
Yeah, you can decide. I'll capture that board.
मतलब तुमको जो easy पड़ेगा. You are already
Everything
on
is
chess,
same.
ना?
Yeah, sure. For
हाँ,
me,
पर मेरा
everything is same.
rating ठीक है. Anyway, मैं सिर्फ time pass के लिए खेलती हूँ.
Where are you going?
1 second. Oops.
Let me know which place you are. I will.
ठीक है. Just one.
Thank you, Devish, Teyung, and all the people who are asking me how to put games in the form. Guys, try to at least do your research on that. If you want me to go through all the forms and help you and get trainers and all, you should have that much. You want to put it in one PGN file, you should create it. If you just Google it, how to create a PGN file with more games, should be able to do it. I think these are the little aspects which are important when you want to submit things, that I will also check if you guys are really putting in that effort to do it.
Okay. So I'm there on. I'll play on leeches only. Chal. I just want to see.
Yeah. And what is your ID?
Amrita Mobile. Oops. Should I start?
1 second.
Or
Yes, you can start.
कब खेला था last? Do you remember? I don't. ठीक है. Maybe Diwali types, October types. ठीक है, I'll start.
Yes. So Amrita is with the white pieces here, and she has opened the game with 1e4. It's Sicilian on the board, and Amrita loves to play the Sicilian. It's the Sicilian dragon. Oof. She's going f4. Oh, d5.
अरे.
क्यों, क्या हुआ? Takes the pawn.
अच्छा.
Now knight
Sorry.
a5. And the bishop goes back. And this time, black has a fantastic position. Zavi Zek has managed to get, I guess, a nice position against Amrita. Queen has come to d5. The knight goes back. Amrita has 43 seconds. Zavi Zek has 38. Rook takes d1, bishop f5. She plays her pawn to c3, and now rook d8. Somehow black is playing really well.
Okay.
Now Amrita pushes her pawn to c4. f5 and bishop b6.
No, that's a blunder. He didn't take my rook and he was winning the pawn.
That's fine. A pawn means nothing much in bullet. Knight d5. Check there. Takes on f5. Amrita is a pawn up. Bishop f6. The king comes up. Oh, she's playing like Magnus. Yeah, attacking. And she also has more time on the clock. Knight e4. Rook g8. Rook. Oh, that was a tactic. Oh, but she could have taken with the bishop. Opponent actually fooled her, but Amrita is 13 seconds. 3 seconds was having. Bishop d8. And now rook takes. Oh, she plundered the rook. And Amruta wins.
Okay, this was a lot of mistakes, no? One
You
more,
can
I'll
play until you lose.
I'll play one more.
G3, c5. This time it's messy. Amruta is playing against. Seems like the guy knows.
Oh, I'm playing
the-
against Messi. He's a great football player.
Well, I guess he knows the state of our house, yeah? A3 castles, bishop d2, and Amruta playing really like she loves to play, pushing the pawns. As I like to call, Amruta has this pawn pushing private limited. She loves to push her pawns. Now pawn goes to f4. The white king is slightly weak. Black's position looks really nice. Pawn to e5. And Amruta removes her bishop from rook from the long diagonal of the bishop. She has to figure out how to coordinate her pieces. She goes g5 now. Playing pretty well, actually. Even though she's playing after a long gap.
मेरा नाइट A5 पे अटकने वाला है पूरी जिंदगी.
And e6. Well, अटकने वाला है या वहां पे बढ़िया. It's placed beautifully. Bishop takes e6. And now she puts a bishop on f5. 24 seconds left. Takes here. And she pushes her pawn to d3. Oof. Takes. Exchange up. Knight b3. The knight comes in. The knight on a5, which was quite poor. But now takes on d2. She's jumping in with the knight. Amruta is playing super quick. She's 15 seconds. Messi has 11. Queen comes in. Rook f1. She gives a check. King goes back to h1. Now queen e1 offering a trade. Takes. Improving the king position. And now g4. The pawns are rushing down the board. Looks like Amruta's going to win another game. Bishop trapped. Takes. And she's won it with 7 seconds. What's wrong with you, Amruta? You're playing so well.
I think he blundered the rook, no?
No, you're playing so well.
Acha, okay, then it's cool. I'll play one more, but you are tired, na?
Let's
And your
play.
birthday is also ending. So, is it okay?
Yeah, 18 minutes to go. We have the Nimso Indian on the board. Queen c2, castles. Takes. Pushes her pawn to c5. She hardly remembers the openings, but who cares, yeah, about the openings now. This is bullet chess. She brings her knight to the center. Queen c2, then the knight comes out. Bishop d3, cementing the knight in the center. This time it's a tough opponent, yeah. He has a rating of 2006. Amruta takes on c4. Now he goes and takes on e4, and she offers a queen trade. Very nice move. Queen goes back. Bishop d7, rook a e8. And she's starting to push the pawns on the queen side. Knight e5. Offering a trade. Takes. Bishop g6, threatening a mate in one. Ooh, he sees it. He sees that mate in one. There was a nasty threat of a mate on g2 square.
Oh, shit.
Amruta blunders a pawn. But it is a pawn.
Oh,
so
my queen.
important.
Opposite colored bishops.
Oh, this time he's given up 2 rooks for a queen. This seems great for Amruta. She seems to be better, but the king is very safe on g3. She comes in with the rook. The queen enters. Oh!
No, queen and mate!
Oh, no, he didn't find it.
But 5 seconds.
Yeah, this is... Can there be some twist? Any twists? Queen b5, rook d4. Can Amruta find a mate in 2 seconds? No, she cannot. Oh.
No, I lost on time. Too slow.
Nice one.
Okay, but interesting. Got it. Just okay, I can play. मतलब मुझे लगा था बहुत ही ज्यादा गया रहेगा because it's been 3 months of not playing. So
No, you
we'll
played
start.
great.
Yeah, after this tournament we'll start again.
Yes,
First from
for
1st
sure.
February.
For sure. We'll start the bullet chess. And
Yeah.
before we end today's stream, Amrita, how about I do a small recap for people
Yep.
so that they know what happened today?
चलेगा.
Yeah. Okay, guys, maybe later you can put the timestamp of this moment here in the video in the comments so that people can check the roundup of this round. It was the 11th round of Tata Steel chess and Magnus versus Vidit. Magnus opened the game with 1 e4. It was e5, bishop c4 in order to avoid Vidit's Petrov defense. And then Vidit got a nice position out of the opening. Actually, it was roundabout even. Both sides, exchanged pieces. A lot of pieces got traded. f5 came in, the exchange, and then queen c4. And when Vidit took, Magnus took here. Now, we were discussing that the knight can go to b4, there can be b6, but Vidit played very concretely with e4. He pushed his pawn to e4 over here, and then d4, he played f4. Very nice move. Then Magnus took. Actually, we were considering here that Magnus should have gone king f2 to keep the game going, but he exchanged a lot of pieces. And then it seemed like the position should be roundabout even, but the white king was very active. And somehow Magnus managed to take advantage of that. Here, Vidit had to go knight f6 back, but he played rook e8, which was a mistake. And after cd, rook e4, king d3, rook a4, white was better. Magnus pushed the pawn, king f7, and he now cut the king off. And at this point, we thought Vidit is gone, he's lost. But Vidit fought on, and over here after king d5, rook check, king c6, b5, this was the moment where Magnus erred. He played d7, which ended in a draw. He had to go check, king f6, and find this insanely difficult, crazy move, rook e4, in order to stop the black pawns from advancing. And once he does that, he can then safely bring his king down here from the checks, and white wins. So that was a mistake there, d7, and once that was played, Vidit comfortably held the draw with pushing his queenside pawns, and eventually both sides, oh no, this didn't happen, actually it went the other way. Here b3, here check, takes, and queen, and then eventually they drew. So Vidit drew his game. The other game which was very important was Praggnanandhaa versus Caruana, which started as a semi-Slav, but in the end, over here, Pragg went wrong with knight d4. He should have taken CB, and queen d3 when the position remains complex. Black is very comfortable, but it's still playable. But he went knight d4 when after take, ba4, queen a4, c5. The a passer was very strong, and seriously, I mean, Pragg couldn't create any real play in the position, and here was a nice simplifying maneuver, after which black has an extra pawn here, and he went on to win. Caruana beat Praggnanandhaa. Anish Giri versus Jorden van Foreest was maybe the game of the round, because Jorden somehow played the most risky system against the Nimzo, the a3 variation, and he just expanded in the center. He brought his knight to d2, and now I think Anish was a bit careless here with his move c5. I think he just underestimated how strong this sacrifice was, and when he played c5, Jorden took queen f3 and d5 when white is totally winning here. I mean, not totally winning, but totally better. And he managed to reroute his bishop. This was a great plan. And then brought his rook to f1. And yeah, Jorden managed to beat Anish in this position. So these were the main results in the open, in the Masters section. Dubo has withdrawn from the tournament because of COVID. And in the challengers section, Surya Ganguly had serious winning chances against Shuvalova, but missed it out in this rook endgame here. He had to time this e5 break more accurately some point, but he didn't do it and he drew. And Arjun Erigaisi with Erwin Lamy, the leader of the tournament, was a short draw. I guess it was a lot of theory that was played here, and maybe I'm not sure how much of it was theory and how much of it was over the board. But Arjun managed to hold with the black pieces, which is actually a good result. Erwin Lamy is a very well-known strong grandmaster, and here they agreed to a draw. So at the end of this round, these are the standings. We have right now Arjun leading the tournament with 1.5 points, and in the open section we have Carlsen leading with 0.5 point over Richard Rapport. So the end will be interesting, but Carlsen will not play one round because he's facing Dubov, and Dubov is not here. Pragg will also not play one round, but we'll see who wins this tournament. Is it going to be Magnus? Is it going to be Richard Rapport? I guess these two have the chance. Lastly, I want to say we have launched India's Got Chess Talent, which is the first link in the description. Please check it out if you want to take part in it. Please fill in the form carefully. And I've also published a video on ChessBase India. And also today is the last day of the ChessBase India Republic Day sale, so you can check it out. It is until 28th of January, so you can see if you want to get the t-shirts, buy 2 and get 1 free. If you want to get Vedika's chocolates, buy 3 get 1 free. This is for today only, so please do check it out. That is the second link in the description, and the third link in the description is the very nice books of Praful Zaveri on chess course. If you're looking for a curriculum to improve your chess, then you can get it at 50% discount until 31st of January. Lastly, guys, thank you all for being here and watching these videos. I want to thank Tanya who joined us, Samay who also joined in, and now Amruta. Amruta, any final words from your end? You're muted. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
No, it was great to be here after a long time, and also to meet Tanya and Samay. As you said, also it was your birthday, and I could interact with the chat for a bit. I could play bullet, so it was fun for me. And yeah, that's it. And thanks to Abhyuday and Nidhi who sent such a beautiful cake. I wish we could have shared with everybody. Maybe at some point we'll be doing something in Mumbai. Yeah, let's meet all of us. Like a lot of people will come, and it's been our dream saga to do that. So soon I think we are coming close to that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it will happen soon, especially, I mean, once the COVID thing subsides, surely we'll plan something, yeah, that we can meet people.
Yeah, and it was great to see Vidit drawing
Yes,
Carlsen that
highlight.
game. So yeah, nice rook end games, some of them. That's
Fantastic. Okay, thanks for the handkerchief, Amrut.
it.
Yeah, and we'll see you all, guys. Thank you. Tomorrow it'll be the 12th round, and we also will have soon. I think I'll stream with Samay also tomorrow, and then we'll also have the endgame session part 2 very soon. So until then, guys, take care. Bye bye.